Hi, good evening, good afternoon, and good evening, and good morning. It's a new year, so it's different time zones for everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's wait a minute because I know a lot of people. This is my first time using Telegram myself, so I'm as much a novice as a lot of people here. But let's wait a while for people to join. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm more of a Zoom person, so this is different for me. I wish that there's a way we can do like high fives and say hi, but we'll figure it out as we go along. So welcome everybody. Um, Okay, I saw a lot of people registered, so I thought to do it on Telegram because if we do it on Zoom, most of the Zoom that we have out here, they have a 300 participant restriction, and I wanted it to be something where if you're joining, you should be able to like hear what we are saying and possibly participate and the likes. So that's why we're doing it on Telegram. So apologies to people who had to download Telegram. I'm so sorry that you had to download it. And I know a lot of us don't like that because when you join Telegram, Telegram tells everybody and tells everyone on your contact that, hey, this so and so person just joined Telegram. So sorry about that. But well, Telegram, and now you're here. So maybe you would see the good sides of Telegram. So I think I'll just wait maybe 2 more minutes and let's see more people join us in the meeting before we start. So I'm going to mute myself now. Okay. Yeah, 2 minutes is up. So I think we are more than enough in the meeting now. I think we can start now. So for those that are just joining, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's different time zones for everybody. So welcome here. Disclaimer, quick disclaimer. This is my first time ever using Telegram for this. So I'm not a Telegram person. So please pardon me if I do not get the hang of it, but I really wanted us to be on a platform where everybody can actually be a part of the conversation. And it's not just because with Zoom, it's really restricted. I tried Google Meet as well. It was restricted. So I felt, why don't we have a meeting where somewhere where everybody who actually takes the time, it's a lot of sacrifice you have taken to be part of this meeting today. So if you're joining, you might as well be able to hear what we're saying. So yes, the meeting is recorded. I hope, let me check. Thank you for mentioning. Yes. It's recording. So it's recording. We'll all get it, and I will upload it on the YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel for this. I only post there once in a year. So when this is done, I would also post this on the channel. So yes, let's get into it. So this meeting is nothing fancy, or we're not going to be sharing any screen. I don't have any slides prepared. I really just wanted us to come together and talk again about EB2 NIW and EB1A and other pathways to get your immigration journey in America started. Now, my name is Toyosi, popularly known as SALTLADY. So, of course, I'm not on video because I'm a shy person. I'm not shy. I'm just joking. Anyway, today I wanted to remind us, for those of us that have been in the communities for quite a while, why we should get this thing going. Last year, I did this meeting around this time, and it's been a year. So many people that joined the meeting in January 2024, and some of them actually listened to this small girl, and they did try this, and today they actually have their green cards for those that have DDB1A. And for those that did EB2 NIW, the fact that they have the approval right now gives them that peace of mind, that security that no matter what happens, you have that backup plan for yourself. So this is me doing it again one more time to encourage as much people that can tap into it. And I will be on the chat. I know it's a lot of messages. I'll try to keep up with the conversation, but let's not ask questions yet, because if you ask questions now, I cannot see it yet. But let's as we go along, we will be able to follow through. All right. So what is EB2 NIW? What is EB1A? What is it about the immigration to America? As far as I'm concerned, America remains the best country on earth. It is what it is. Apologies to those people in Canada, UK, Germany, and all of that. It is what it is. America is it. So, for the first timers, yes, we will share more on it. That's why I'm doing the initial explanation. Now, the EB2 NIW, and for those that are new here, if anybody is not hearing me, maybe it's your computer, or can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, please kind of like raise your hands, like click on the unmute so I can know. Okay, thank you so much. All right, I was scared. I saw some people say they did not hear me, so I was worried. Thank you. All right, I have some lawyers here that would be joining us, some other experts as well that we will share the journey together, and we would advise, and possibly we all gain one or two things from this conversation. Now, like we all know, I think I had a pause. This is not working. Hello, am I still here? Okay, I'm still here. Can I get in? All right. Please, let me be sure. On Telegram, can they hear me? Okay, thank you. You can hear me. Thank you so much. Okay, all right. I thought there was a pause there. All right, so let me go straight into it. First and foremost, like we all know, there are two major pathways to get your green card in America. There is the family-based pathway, and then there is the employment-based pathway. There are other pathways like, asylum and visa lottery, and, there are so many other pathways, but the two major ones that you can actually do for yourself to get your green card, because there are other ones like H1B, L1A, O1, and all of those other ones that allows you to work legally in America. But the ones that you can do by yourself without necessarily coming through the government is the family-based pathway, or through the employment-based pathway. So I'm saying from the basics so that we all kind of like can get into the flow of what this is about. Under the family-based pathway, it's either you are born in America, like your parents give it to you here, automatically you become a naturalized citizen, or you get married to somebody who is an American citizen, permanent resident, or you give birth to a child in America who in turn files for you to get your own citizenship, green card and citizenship in the long run. But that takes a long time anyway, because the child has to be at a particular age before that child can file for you. So most people don't usually opt for that option. So what is the solution? Like for many countries, like for some people, they might not be looking into filing for asylum because it comes with its own restrictions. But it's not that it is bad, it's good. If asylum is it for you, please by all means go for it. It's way better for you to be on asylum than to go out of status like that, than to be without any kind of status. And besides, with asylum, you can actually work, you get work authorization, and it takes a long time anyway before it takes a long time actually before the asylum case gets, when they eventually decide on the case. So that gives you quite a good number of time to eventually figure out what you want to do and how you want to kind of like navigate your time here in America. So that's that about the family-based pathway and the other pathways, the government-assisted pathways. So here we are. Majority of us might not fit into those categories. So we are left with the employment-based pathways. The employment-based pathways are in 5 categories. We have EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5. Now, the EB1 is for people who have reached the top of their career. Now, well, some people have not reached the top of their career, but if you can make a good argument and you can explain how you meet the stipulated criteria for it, then possibly you get approved for the EB1A. So, but ordinarily, the EB1A is for people who have actually reached the top of their career, and there are certain criteria that USCIS require you. USCIS mean United States Citizenship and Immigration Service. USCIS means United States Citizenship and Immigration Service. So if you are not an American, whatever you're doing, the first person, the first name, the first department that is your friend, should be your friend, is USCIS, because they are the ones that would look through your documents, adjudicate your case and determine if you are worthy to become an American down the line. So somebody asked for the meeting link, so I just added the meeting link. Let me try and see if I can pin it to the group. It's a lot, but I just posted the link on the chat. Yeah. Okay. So as I was explaining, USCIS means United States Citizenship and Immigration Service. So they are the ones that determine who gets to become a US citizen, who gets to become a US permanent resident, who gets to leave America, who does not get to stay here. So EB means employment based. EB, employment based. So we have EB1, EB2. So when you hear people say EB1, EB2, EB whatever, what they are typically saying is employment based visa, so and so category. So EB1 means employment based visa 1, the first category, EB1. EB2 means employment based visa, second category, EB2. We have EB3 as well. EB3 is for people like nurses, plumbers, like some certain physicians, more like people who are skilled in a particular thing. It does not have to be it's cut across any kind of discipline. Could even be an accountant or something. So far you find a US company that is willing to file for you and can explain and show to the USCIS that actually there is no other person that can take up that job position other than you, and the USCIS agrees to it, then you get approved for the EB3. And funny enough, a lot of people actually get into the EB3. The only thing with EB3 right now is that there is a long wait time to get your green card on it, because as you can tell, it's quite a large number of people on it. So and then the requirement to actually meet it is also different. It's a little bit on the high side. And then the company that is going to file for you to do that, you have to get a US company that is willing to file for you. And most of the time they have to pay a lawyer to do it. So this is what it is. But if you find somebody that is a company that is willing to take you on to do that, yeah, by all means, please go for it. EB4 is for people like certain religious workers, certain broadcasters, certain government officials. All this information are online, by the way, so you can actually Google it out. But that's not the purpose of this meeting, so I'm not going to go into the details. EB5, on the other hand, is what they call the money visa. So if you can invest up to $1 million into the American economy and you can employ, I think, up to 25, is it 10 or 25 people, you get to get your green card as well. So it's a little bit of, there's a lot involved in that, but It's all about the money. You have the money, you show them the paperwork, you can employ people. You actually are investing the money, maybe creating a company or creating jobs for Americans. Then you will be approved for the EB5. So, but then those are the opportunities that are out there, and you may read more about it and explore and know if it works for you or not. So, why are we here? We are here because of EB1 and EB2, because those are the ones that you can actually apply for without any offer of employment from a US lawyer. So if you do want, if it is something that you are considering, taking on, you can apply for an EB1A or EB2 NIW visa. If you meet the requirements set by the United States Civil Citizenship and Immigration Service, they will and they approve your case, you can get a US green card. With this it is a 10-year green card that they will give you. And this visa, it can be given to anybody from all over the world. So you don't have to be inside America before you can apply for this. You can be in Botswana, you can be in Australia, from anywhere in the world and apply for this. And you can be inside America. If you do apply for this thing and they see that what you are saying makes sense and you get approved for it, you will be given the green card to come into America. And not just you, if you have you have family, say you are married, you have a wife or a husband, you have children, automatically, if you put their name down while you are applying, they will also get their green card. But everything is based on evidence and paperwork. So you cannot just, the marriage has to make sense, because you will come for interview. If you're outside America, most of the time you have to go through a US embassy before you can get your visa interview. So if your marriage is not real, then that would not work. And then your children also, they have to be your real children. You cannot put in the name of your cousin or your uncle or your auntie or your mom or your dad. No. It must be your immediate nuclear family. So if you get approved for it, automatically every member of your family would get the green card. I think it's a good deal if you look at it in the long run. Yeah. Now, how do we now get this beautiful green card? That's where the problem is. Because the US is not actually giving out the green card to everybody. It's not an easy thing to get. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's not an easy thing to get at all. You must actually deserve it to be given. How do you show you deserve it? And by the way, let me pause and say that the entire point of the EB, employment-based visa, like what the name says, it says employment-based visa. Normally, you should have somebody that is willing to employ you for you to be eligible for this visa. However, America, like I always say, it's the best country on earth. It is what it is. They know that there are some certain people who are extremely gifted, like you and myself. We are intelligent. We know what we are doing. We are excellent at a particular skill. We have wonderful ideas. We have problem-solving skills. We want to change the world, basically. So the USCIS is calling on everybody that, if you have an idea, you are skilled at something, you are an expert at something, they want you to come to America and do that great thing that you are doing, or that wonderful idea that you have. They want you to come here and do it for them, so that at the end of the day, they always like to be the best country on earth. It is a mutually beneficial relationship. If they allow you to come into America and do your greatness here, it benefits them, because their people, Americans, they would be blessed by it. The world would be blessed by it. And you, the doer, would also be blessed as well. So at the end of the day, everybody would benefit from this. So they want you to come from your country, Ghana, Nigeria, Australia, Canada, and yes, it's true. A lot of people who are not Americans here, they do relocate. Many people relocate to America, so it's not just Africans that are doing it. Everybody relocates to America. Yes. So they want you to come and um, you know, impact their country with your wonderful skill and your wonderful ideas, basically. So that's the purpose of the employment-based visa. But then, like I said, they know that it is hard to find an employer that would be willing to employ you. So they made an opportunity through the national interest waiver. That's why you hear EB2 NIW. The meaning of the NIW means National Interest Waiver. National Interest Waiver. It simply means they would waive the requirement of a job offer for you and allow you come in, or if you're already in America, allow you stay here and do the good thing that you want to do. So for instance, you are somebody who found a cure to cancer, right? Great thing, wonderful. A lot of people, want to, do that. So you find a cure to cancer, all well and good. They want you to come and do your research, find the solution, and stay here in America and bless people by it. So, like I said, I'm going to make sure that I do not exceed 30 minutes for this introduction, and I have 4 more minutes. But I still have a lot to say, so I'm going to conjure it in as little as I can. Now, how do you qualify for this employment-based visa so that you can get the national interest waiver and come into America or stay back in America if you're already here and do your stuff? Now, they have a list of requirements. First things first, you must be eligible for it. How do you prove that you're eligible for it? They gave you 2 options. Number 1, you can claim that you have an advanced degree, or you can claim that you are a person of exceptional ability. But then there is a beautiful part to this. Let me say, normally when they say a person have an advanced degree, ordinarily, if you say you have an advanced degree, you should have a master's or PhD. That is what counts as an advanced degree. But in all fairness, some people may not have a master's or PhD, but they might have a lot of experience. They might have worked in the industry for like 5 years, and they've made a lot of impact. Now, if you fall under that category, you might also qualify for the advanced degree, because a person who graduated with a bachelor's degree in studied medicine and surgery, for instance, and the person has worked for 5 years, over time, the person has acquired some certain skill sets, but the person should have made some impact while they were working in that 5 years, such that their counterparts that actually went back to study for a master's or PhD, they should, their experience should count for something. Their experience should count for something. So that's why the USCI says under the advanced degree criteria, it's either you have the real advanced degree, the master's or PhD, or you have a bachelor's degree and at least 5 years working experience. But then some of us don't even have bachelor's degree or master's or PhD. Good deal. We have they made another option available for you. You can claim exceptional ability. With exceptional ability, you might as well have a national diploma, an OND, HND. It might be certifications that you have in your field, because we come from different backgrounds, different fields, so you might not have a bachelor's degree or any of that, but if they have listed, they more like they gave you different options. Out of the many options they gave you, you should be able to fit into one. And if you don't fit into it now, you can actually work towards it. I remember in 2020, I met someone and I had spoken to this person about the EB2 NIW. And guess what? The guy graduated this December. Yeah, he graduated. He got his bachelor's degree. And now he's going to file. I know it might sound like, oh my God, I have to wait for 4 years and get my degree and all of that. But, he who does not start does not finish. So it might look like it takes a while before you get the requirements and the criteria that they need ready. But if you actually put your mind to it and you are diligent about it, you can and you may get it out. Please, first thing, please, as we continue in this discussion, like I said, this is my first time ever using Telegram, and the reason why I don't like Telegram is usually because it's a terrain I'm not familiar with. So please don't exchange money with anybody here. You like, do it at your own risk. Please don't believe anybody when they tell you they want to exchange money or anything. They will scam you and they will take your money. Please don't believe them. And be careful about people that chat with you from here. I just need to give that disclaimer because a lot of people are out here. They are just out there to scam you. And in our WhatsApp group, we know we've seen such instances where people will come and then they will slide into your DM and all of that. But please do your own due diligence. Please be careful. Please be careful. I am begging you, be careful. Do not believe people on this, why people have. I beg you. Okay. I want to open the floor now for questions because I intentionally said I was not going to be more than 30 minutes for my intro. So, and besides, I like to hear your voices. So if you have questions, please raise your hand. I know there's a lot to say, but as we journey along in the meeting, we will be able to answer more, and I will shed more light on the EB2 NIW and the EB1A pathway. Yeah. So if you have questions, please raise your hands and I can unmute you and allow you to speak. But we have some lawyers that are here also. So if you have questions, by the way, I'm not a lawyer. I'm an immigration consultant, more like an expert. So if you have questions that are more lawyer based, they can help answer your questions. So please raise your hand if you have questions. Yeah, you have to click on mute. So when you click on mute, then I can see that you raise your hand, then I can address the question. And we have some questions already in the chat. The link to the recording will be put here. So no. You don't have to. You don't need to have an employment in the US to be eligible. No. The main point of this application is that you don't need to have a US employment. When you get your green card, you might decide to, work, get a job, like get an employment, or maybe work for yourself, or maybe create a consultancy, or be an employer of labor, or anything like that. So the entire point of this whole application is that you can get your green card. Simple. That's the summary of it. It's a pathway for you to get your green card. Okay. Oh wow, so many hands up. Okay, I'll start from the top. Okay. Vibrant Olubumi. I think Vibrant can speak now. So yes. So Vibrant, you can speak now. Vibrant Bumi.
Thank you so much for this class. It's been insightful so far. Thank you so much. So I have a question. So my question is, if you have years of experience and you intend, maybe more than 10 years of experience, and you intend to file for EB2 NIW, how do you document your achievements in terms of experience? If you really do not have awards and some papers or journals that you have cited somewhere, but you have cogent experience, how am I supposed to tailor this into my petition?
Okay, yeah, thank you. Good question. So it's about, let me be clear, you only have a bachelor's, 10 years work experience, you do not have a master's or PhD, right?
Master's included.
Okay, you do have a master's.
Yes,
okay.
Please.
So now there are two phases to this, and thank you. That's why I didn't want to go into all the long explanation at the beginning. Now, with EB2 NIW, for people that are just joining, EB2 NIW means employment-based visa second category. NIW means National Interest Waiver. So you are literally applying to the US government that you are a person who has exceptional skill, or you have this wonderful, great idea that you want to do that will be beneficial to the world and to America. So they should allow you to stay in America, or they should allow you kind of like live here, continue to stay in America to do your wonderful thing that you want to do. Okay, now that's it. There are two major things that they consider before they grant you this green card, so to speak, before you get on the journey to the green card, so to speak. One, they want to determine if you are eligible for it. To prove that you are eligible for it, there are two options. You have two options. The first option is that if you show them that you have an advanced degree, that is a master's or PhD in your field, or you have a bachelor's degree and 5 years work experience, that counts as an advanced degree. The second option is that you may claim exceptional ability. Under exceptional ability, they have a list of 6 different things that they have prepared. And out of the 6 things, they ask you to meet at least 3 out of the 6. At least 3 out of the 6. Now, these 6 things include, maybe you have you can show to them that you have a degree, a diploma, a certificate, or an award from a university, a school, or any other institution of learning. So in answer to your question, you can show them that you have 10 years work experience. How do you show this? Your job offer, your letters, maybe promotion, as you get on the job over the years, you get promoted. So your promotional letters, your pay stub, that is your salary. For those people that maybe they don't use pay stub in their country, you get a lot for salary per month, right? So your salary should also show. Maybe you're even part of a cooperative or something in your, what you do. That would count. That would show something that actually shows that you have worked in that office or in that field for 10 years. Another thing is maybe a license to practice your profession or certification. So maybe for people who are nurses, for instance, well, it's a little bit dicey for nurses on EB2 NIW anyway. So let me use that example. But I don't mean they don't get it, but it's just a different terrain for them. You get maybe for certifications, for people that they require certification to practice in their field, that would count as well. And also, if you have collected salary, as you say you have worked in a job before and you have, you have certain skills, you should be able to show them that you have commanded some sort of salary in your job, and then membership in professional associations. And sometimes, of course, if you have any achievement that can show that you have done something in your field, that would count as well. Please just give me 1 second. I think I need to mute the group. People are reporting so many things. I'm getting waived for a lot of things. I don't know. Yeah, let me get back on track. So in answer to your question, your question, because you already have an advanced degree, I'm assuming that your question is not based on eligibility because you're automatically qualified if you have a master's degree. Your question is based on the 3 prongs for the EB2 NIW. Even though you may be eligible and meet the eligibility criteria, you may not meet the waiver criteria, because the waiver criteria is where people have problem. Under the waiver criteria, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, USCIS, they listed 3 different factors that they will use to judge you, whether you actually deserve to get the green card. The first thing is they want to know if what you say you want to do for America, if that thing has substantial merit and national importance. 2 different things. What you want to do may have substantial merit, it may not have national importance. Now, the second thing they consider is that, are you well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor? I'm a Yoruba person, so I will say, they say, right? So I will interpret myself. It means that he who wants to, if someone comes to you and say they want to give you a big gift, like buy you a Cadillac or a Bugatti, and the person that comes to you to tell you that they want to buy you a Bugatti, the person has never driven a bicycle in their life, would you believe them? But you may believe them because of so many social experiments going around, but ordinarily you would doubt that they can actually buy you a Porsche if they've never driven a bicycle or they've never owned any form of automobile ever before. So it's the same thing with USCIS. They want to know if you actually are well positioned, if you can show them that, okay, in your past and in your projected future, you are actually capable of doing that thing you want to do for them. And the final thing is this: they want to know if it is going to be beneficial for them to give you the green card, because whatever you want to do might actually be good. It might have substantial merit. It might even have importance. You might even be well positioned for it, but it might not be beneficial to the American people. So if it will not be beneficial to them, then they would not actually consider it. So for you, I know there's a lot of talk out there that you must have so many publications, so many citations and all of that, but it depends on what your proposed endeavor is. If what you are proposing to do for America is something that does not necessarily is not research based, or for instance, if you can show them that you have 10, like you said now, you said you have 10 years experience. Your 10 years experience, you show them your pay stub, you show them promotion that you have received. Maybe you were the best staff at your job consecutive years, and your department or your team, you have been able to show that you're good at what you do. And please, more importantly, very, very importantly, metrics are very important. It's not just about you showing that you're actually good at what you do. You must be able to show metrics. For instance, you worked as maybe you were a doctor, good example, or you were a lecturer at a university. How many students have you taught? How many master students did you have gone through your supervision? You say you work in a lab, and that you work in biomedical sciences, and you work with nanoparticles and all of that. Okay, you do this. What is the result? What can you show for what you have done in that 10 years that you were working in that research lab? Okay, you say you got, for instance, maybe you have worked on any grant, or like your department have gotten a grant or anything. That would count as well. It shows that you guys know what you're doing, and like you can actually handle, huge projects and stuff like that. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but yes, you may not have everything that they require, but if you have even the little that you have, if you have evidence to prove to them that you actually did work 10 years in that field, if you are a researcher, if you don't have 100 publications or 1,000 citations, it might just be 2 publications you have. But if that 2 publications they make sense, and people are actually reading it, people are citing your work, people are using your work, people are actually going on your either ResearchGate or Google Scholar to read you up, it would count as well. But then I will be honest and say that USCIS has become a little bit stricter in their requirements, and we cannot blame them. A lot of us are now doing it, we are now getting more knowledge about this thing. So things have slowed down a little, but people still get it. We get approvals every day. For those that are in my WhatsApp group, you can see people share their approvals every day. And many people do get denied as well. But my position on this thing is that you lose all the opportunities that you don't take. So I'll go to the next question. Before we go into the... Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to quickly add something. So with your 10 years, something that you can do, you may have spoken at presentations, even on behalf of your employer and all that, industry-facing events. So let's say you work in oil and gas, and then you work in, one of the indigenous companies, and you have presented for your organization as maybe Institute of Oil and Gas, so you can leverage on those and use it to show tangible effect of your 10 years, because it's not just enough to show that you've worked in a particular company for 10 years for NIW, right? Because they might say that all you've done is only relevant to that particular company. It is not relevant to the field as a whole. So you have to be able to articulate how those 10 years experience, you've done things that impact your industry, not just the company. So that's the only thing I wanted to add.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the insights.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll take the next person, but before I do that, somebody asked a question in the chat. Said I'm from Sierra Leone, and many people from my country are not applying. Does it mean I will get my green card faster? Unfortunately, no, that's not the way it works. So I'll go into a little bit about timelines. First things first, let me just be honest with you. Everything that concerns American immigration is not rocket science. It's not a ticket out of running away from escaping your country that fast. Even if you want to come to America for education, we all know that there is, you have to apply maybe like some months before, before you get an approval, before you can go for visa interview and then come into the country. So the same thing with this EB2 NIW, the EB pathway, whether it's EB1 that you're doing or EB2 NIW, there are different timelines for it. So for the person if your date is current, I'll go into the dates down the line because somebody will definitely agree. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I was muted. I'm sorry, I was muted the entire time. Hamed Salam Olarioye, you can speak now.
Hello, SALTLADY. Thanks for this opportunity. I actually wanted to say that I stopped hearing you. I thought I was off the session.
Sorry about that.
For a moment. Okay. So you actually touched base on most of the things I wanted to ask, but one last one I would like to know. Assuming that you apply for NIW and your initial I-140 had been approved, then the next stage would be like the adjustment of your status. What I wanted to know, are there guarantees, or what is the process between when your I-140 had been approved and when your status is I've forgotten the term you use, but when you get your green card?
Okay, yeah. So let me quickly answer that question. So, my people. In times past, USCIS were begging us to do this thing, okay? I remember during COVID, after COVID, they were like, oh, there's visa numbers available. People should apply for EB2 NIW, EB1A, and, get your green card. Because, there was this mythology, this huge myth that you must have too much. You must be like, an Einstein level personality to be able to get this thing. Well, we are going back to that phase right now anyway. But then, so many people that maybe should have applied actually feel that they were not qualified, so they were not applying. But now, my brother, my sister, many of us are applying. Everybody is applying for it now. So because a lot of us are now doing it, there is so much more people applying for it. And like us, like this webinar now, we are a lot of us here trying to learn about the process. So there's a lot of us that are kind of like much more than the visa number that they have available. So every year, the USCIS gives out 140,000 green cards to people like you and me who are coming to apply for the EB2 NIW or EB1A. However, usually they give more than that. They give up to like 200,000 anyway. Usually, it's always more than that. But because so many people are now applying, there is a they decided to do it to be fair. They use a visa bulletin to demarcate and to make sure that not everybody is into the system at the same time. So because of the larger number of people that are applying, there is a longer wait time for when you can get your green card. So in answer to your question, sir, you will wait until your visa bulletin you will wait until your visa date is current before you can apply for the green card. Now, I know it sounds like a lot of wait time, but there is really nothing you can do, and it does not affect you. What you have to just do is to make sure that you remain in status. I'm not sure I answered your question, Sha, but if I answered your question, let me know. But if I didn't answer your question, please let me know as well. But I'm sure I did not answer your question. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a follow-up. You mentioned that you will still explain the what do you call it just now?
The visa bulletin.
No, the visa bulletin, and when something is current. You mentioned
your
that
date is current.
You said you explained that. But that said, you said you still have to be in status. So for example,
Yes.
somebody that it's already here and probably concluded his studies and I'd even done maybe the 1 year OPT, you understand? So, and he has gotten the approval, and at the tail end of the OPT, that means you have to struggle or hustle to make sure you get your OPT extended.
Yeah. Okay, so let me say this, so I now I get your question. So because like I said, there is many people applying for this thing now. It is good that you have your EB2 approval. If you finish school and you graduate from school and you are yet to, your visa date is not current yet. When I say visa date, let me just talk about it so that we clarify on that. I hope I don't forget your question. I hope I don't. Yeah. So, like I said, the immigration. Yes, I want to expand on the timelines now. Thank you, Oni. The USCIS gives out 140,000 green cards per year. Out of that 140,000 green card, that is for everybody from all over the world. But usually they give out more. Usually, averagely in a year, it's usually like 200,000 and even above that they give out. Now, many people are applying for this thing. Because of that, for fairness, for them to be fair, they take it step by step. So, as of today, January 1, 2025, only the people that have applied for EB2 NIW in August, only the people that have submitted their application by August 1, 2023, they are the ones that they are giving green cards now. They are the ones that are eligible to apply for green card now. It means that if you had applied for your EB2 NIW on August 2, 2023, you cannot apply for a green card now. Why? Because they are doing it step by step for fairness, so that those people that are already on the line, they can get their own. And then those people that are coming, they can also have the opportunity. One person cannot jump over the other person. Now, in answer to that's the timeline. So that I'm trying to explain the timeline. So you have to wait until they show, and by the way, they release a visa bulletin every month. The visa bulletin is usually released between day 8 and day 15 of the month. So like January, like for the one for February now, we are expecting February visa bulletin between January 8, 2025 to January 15, 2025. So that's around the time they usually release the visa bulletin. So that's when it will come out. Yeah. Now, the For those of us who technically are, for those of us who are on the wait list, if, for instance, you submitted your EB2 NIW December 2023 and your visa date is not current yet, and we graduated, you already completed your OPT December 2024, what do you do? That's the question. First things first, if you have an approved EB2 NIW, you may apply for what they call extenuating circumstances or compelling circumstance. You may apply to USCIS that, look, I know my visa date is not correct, but I have an approved EB2 NIW and I have completed my OPT. Can you give me an extension and allow me apply for, give me work authorization so that I can continue to work in America? That's one option. The second option is, which is the better option, but maybe the safer option anyway, is that you find a way to remain in status. This may be that you go back to school, or that you, that's it. Either go back to school, or it might not necessarily be a master's or PhD program. It might be a day one CPT school or something. Just make sure that you remain in status. If you go out of status, and let me say, dear sir and ma, if you have gone out of status, I mean, you know that you are no longer on status. You came for visiting in America, you overstayed your welcome, or you went to school in America, you graduated, completed your OPT, you refused to go back to your country, and you went out of status, you are not eligible for this. Period. Full stop. That's it. You can. There's no magic you can perform. It's over. Or you go back to your country, fulfill your, serve your punishment, which is usually for a 5-year ban, and then come back to do this. Or you may file for asylum. I always say that it's better for you to file for asylum than for you to go out of status. Because if you go out of status, it's an irredeemable position you put yourself. So, sir, in answer to your question, please find a way to get back into, maybe go to school or do like an English program or register in a community college or something. Just make sure that you remain in status. I know that the wait times is heartbreaking for everybody, but at the long run, eyes on the prize, we would all get it eventually. For those people who have been on the wait list for quite a while, we will eventually get it. That's the thing. So, Barrister Fola, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I wanted to add a few things. So on that extenuating circumstances, EAD, one thing to bear in mind if we apply for it is that the way it works, right, you won't be able to adjust status within the US. You have to go to, the embassy in your home country to get the green card. So anyone that is choosing that route, look at it very well before you choose. And something that Salt said that is really very useful is that CPT, day one CPT. So even though you have, say, finished your OPT and all that, the way the day one CPT works is that it's a work permit, really, allows you to work full time while schooling. And many of these day one CPT schools is not as hectic as regular schooling that you have to be in class every day of the week. This one, the classes are mainly online. And then you just fly in maybe like once in 3 months for a weekend course to be there in person, just to keep that whole F1 enrollment status. And most of every other thing is done online. And in all that, you are working full time. So that's something you can really, really explore. And then in filing for asylum too, something to bear in mind is that, yes, asylum takes like 8 to 10 years for them to decide on it. But as much as possible, because I know that a lot of times some people come in on F1 and of course they hear go and file asylum. Yes, file asylum, all well and good, but please maintain status too, because it's less than 20% of asylum cases that they eventually grant. And if you've not been maintaining status along the line, then you're not going to be able to adjust status within US under the EB route, unless maybe one then goes, through the marriage route to a citizen and all that. So those are things to bear in mind. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for adding that. Very important. I've never a fan of the compelling circumstance. And another thing I need to say also is that, yes, I know a lot of us want to hear about the Trump administration, okay? And it is what it is. Anyway, I remember during his first term, during the that time, I think that if it is avoidable for you, don't do some things. If it's possible, if you can avoid it, just don't do it. Because I remember during that time, he made during his first term, they made it a law about what public charge. Public charge was a problem. People that usually get like some benefits from government, it became a problem. They would say they are not eligible. Even for people that file for people that want to file for their family, like for their spouse or something, they increase the amount of money that was required that you can have before you can file for somebody. So it's always better, if you can avoid some things, don't go for it. Okay, I will take one more question. I'm also trying to answer people's question in the chat. So if sometimes I might have answered your question in the chat. I asked some people already open. I met Salam Olariye. Were you the one that asked before? Joyce Lewis,
Yes.
can ask your question. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you can speak now. Go ahead. Okay, Joyce Lewis is not here. Miret.
I'm here. Oh, sorry, I did not have. I was talking. I did not know I don't
Oh,
have.
okay.
Truly, I'm not used to this. Is my first time doing the session on Telegram too. So my question is, I'm going to be on my first year OPT, so the extension will be after the first year. If I put in for my EB visa, any of the EB visa I decide to go for, does it affect my application for STEM extension? Because I've heard someone say, oh, he applied for STEM extension and USCIS said his I-140 was already approved and he was just trying to think. So do you advise I get my STEM extension first before putting in for the EB visa?
I'll leave it to the lawyers to answer because it's a dicey situation.
When is your STEM OPT due for renewal?
December. Like I think 6 months. They said I could start applying 6 months before the end date. So I just started. It started in
Okay, so
January.
December 2025.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that it's not supposed to be honest. Since you have like pretty much a year, I'll say there's no need waiting. If it was just like a few months, you could say, okay, wait to do the extension before you put in the I-140. But since there's such a long time, there's really no need waiting. It's not supposed to be honest, because there are even policy, guidance and all that say that the fact that you have an approved petition does not stop you from being on a non-minimum ground visa like F. But there have been some USCIS officers that, yes, have denied OPT extension just because there's an approved I-140. So, but even if they wanted to, come back with that feedback, when you file the extension, they will start with an RFE or a notice of intent to deny. They won't just deny outright. And then you can then bring those things to their face. Because again, there have even been people that have even filed the adjustment of status application. That's the I-485, which that one is even the more damning one in quotes. And yet they have gotten their OPTs approved. So it really just depends on the reviewer. But normally by the law and policy, it's not supposed to. And you can fight them on that basis.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Paula Kiyemi, you can.
Should I continue?
Okay. I think he's not here.
Should I go?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for organizing this. So my question is, I came to US with J1 visa, with a 2-year restriction to go back and serve my country. And because of the country situation, we have the temporary protection for such countries because of the civil war and everything. So I took advantage of that and filed for asylum and continued my master's program. I'll graduate in May 2025 this year. So I'm thinking like to start and to plan my EB2 application. So my first question is, the 2-year restriction, will it affect me when it comes to the EB2 application? And if that's the case, is there anything I should be doing, a lookout for, depending how I come, how I stayed and everything?
So the 2-year restriction, yeah, you have to apply for a waiver. But it doesn't affect you from applying for the I-140 now and getting approved. It's something that you can do concurrently, right? Because it's a process that can take 6 months to 1 year to complete.
Okay.
The main time when you need it is when you're filing the I-485, the green card application, because there's a part on the form where it will ask you that you're subject to the 2-year, J1 restriction. And if you are, it will ask you whether you have either served it or you have been waived. So that's where it really becomes very important. But you can go ahead, prepare your I-140 materials, even file it, and side by side also apply for the waiver. Now, there's a waiver that is gotten from, DOS and like your country's embassy. So depends on the category of J1 that you came in through. I know that, for medical doctors, the more straightforward route for waiver is not available to most medical doctors. But if it's not in the medical field, then
Can
you
I
should be
tell
able
you,
to get.
I came with the
Mhm.
Mandela Washington fellowship program, if that's gonna help
Okay,
you.
well, yeah, it should be one of the more straightforward ones. So they have a couple of, you can get like a no objection statement from your country's embassy. So if you go to, like, if you just browse it, have to get a J1, no objection statement from, whatever, what the name of your country. It will give you how to reach your embassy and all that, and then you can start the process from there. Yeah.
If getting an objection from my country would not work because I'm filing asylum because of the attack my country is causing on my tribe and my people. So if I go back and ask waiver from my country, now it would be contradicting with my asylum application. Do you get it? So I don't think I can go back to my country embassy and get a waiver. It has to be, I think I have to get the waiver from the US itself.
Oh yeah, so
I
with the
mean,
waiver, yeah. So with the waiver for those who actually are on asylum currently, the way to go about it is you actually need to apply to embassies, just like now, to embassies outside of your country. Yeah, it's true if you go back to your country because of course you're saying that it's hard for you that you cannot stay there. I know there's this wonderful guy in our group who got approved for EB2 NIW, couldn't go back to his country and actually applied to a US consulate in another country, and he was able to get those people. So you have to wait. You have to make sure that they invite you. The country that you apply to, you apply to US consulates all over the world. I think he said he applied to over 40 US embassies all around the world, and eventually one invited him to come, and he went there, did his interview, got approved with his wife and children, and today he's back into the country with his green card. So that's an option to explore. But we have to move on along because there's so many people on the line.
Thank you so
I hope we were
much.
able to answer your question.
Thank you
Yeah.
so
Sorry,
much.
Salt, I
Thank
just wanted
you.
to quickly clarify something. So getting the no objection statement, it does not require you going physically to your country, right? And
Yes.
there are different, waiver routes. So that's just one of them. Just look at the different options and choose the one that, works for your situation. And then you might want to also get professional help to guide you with that if it's not something you're really conversant with. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I
All
appreciate the
right.
help.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so my people, the people from outside America, it's like, you are like, what is all these things that you people are talking about? You are not following the conversation. Yes. So this EB2 NIW and EB1A, the employment-based visas, is for people that are already inside America, and it's also for people that are still outside America. In fact, as a matter of fact, the visa is directed to you because you are not a US person, like you are not an American citizen, or you were not born here, or you are not from here. So even if you live inside America, you will still be applying for an adjustment of status from whatever current status you are on, whether you're on F1, J1, and visiting, whatever you are on, to apply to adjust your status to get a green card. So for those of us that are outside America, in South Africa, people from Nigeria, people from all over the world, you can apply for this thing. Like I said, even those of us that are inside here, we did apply as somebody that was from outside anyway. So people from outside Nigeria, for people from outside America rather, are also eligible to apply for this. If you meet the requirement, there are stages to it. I just like to demarcate it this way. There are 2 stages to this application. Stage 1 is where you apply for the waiver. This is the part where you say to the USCIS, you explain to them, you write a letter. The letter is called a petition letter. In that petition letter, you will explain to them how you meet the eligibility requirement, and you explain to them how you meet the waiver requirement. So whether you are inside America or you are outside, you will still go through all these stages, So you apply, you write this letter, you argue your case, you present evidences. For instance, if I am applying from, I'm a Nigerian, so I can kind of like use myself as an example. If I'm applying from Nigeria, I would put in my case. I apply from whatever part of the world, part of the country I stay in. I write a petition letter where I explain to them how I qualify for the EB2 NIW. I will make a case for how I meet the waiver requirement, the factors, the factors that I explained about, how your proposed endeavor has substantial merit and national importance, how you are well positioned to do your proposed endeavor, and how it will be beneficial to the American people if they allow you come into America to do this thing. When you make those 3 arguments, when you're done, you also provide them exhibits. Sometimes you might need, well, most of the time, you might need maybe recommendation letters from experts. Let me say, please, on recommendation letters, please, I know it is easier for you to get recommendation letters from people that know you, your former supervisor, your colleague, your all of that. It is, see, if you want to buy something online, whose report would you believe? You would rather believe the report of an expert in that field talking about it, not a celebrity who does not use that product and is talking about it. They are paid for what they are talking about. So definitely they will say the product is good. So USCIS is the same thing with USCIS. They don't want you to come and tell and present letters of recommendation from people who necessarily might just write wonderful things about you and sing your praises to the high heavens. Oh, David is a wonderful person. He has worked with me for so many years. He's a great, wonderful, he's diligent, he's good. That's not what USCIS wants to see. They want to see how what you want to do for them, how your proposed endeavor is going to be impactful for America. It's not so much about your praises that is sung in the letters. And for those that have received RFE, you can agree with me that that's what they will write. They will tell you that your letters are not, it's just your family and friends that wrote you recommendation letters. So get letters of recommendation from experts. I know when you go and meet somebody, it's difficult to convince a person who does not know you from Adam to write a recommendation letter. But please try to get recommendation letter from experts in your field. If you are claiming exceptional ability, that's why all your supervisor letter, your advisor letter, and all of that, they will carry more weight there. But if you are claiming well positioning, if you are claiming substantial merit and national importance, if you are claiming benefit, how it will benefit the United States, please get your letters from people who are actually experts in your field. Then your supervisors, of course, it's not like they are not experts, or maybe your guy, let me not use your guy because there's some people that cannot understand your boss. Yeah, your boss. Yeah, your boss they might be experts in that field, but objective letters, objective opinion carry much more weight. So that said, about those of us who are not in America already, who are looking to apply for the EB2 NIW or EB1A, please remember that you will also go through the process like those people that are inside here. Write a petition letter, you provide exhibits and evidences to show that what you say is correct, it is good. There are some forms that you must fill. This, and by the way, I would put the link after this meeting, after this whole thing is done today, I will put the link to this information on the chat. You can access this document and read more about it. And I will be doing more of these webinars as we go along this year, because I see that a lot of us have so many questions. We are not getting answers to our questions. So I'll try my best to come online more often and shed more light on these topic. So I know we cannot take all the questions today, but we'll be shedding more light on it as we go along. So you will fill I was talking about the forms. Some of the forms you fill, I know the most important one is the I-140 form. The next one, of course, is the 9089 form. So whether you are in America or you are in Nigeria, you are applying for this thing, you will fill all those forms as well. So this conversation it cuts across, everybody from all over the world who are looking to apply for the EB2 NIW. Let me pause here so that I can take somebody from the audience.
Can I ask my question?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, you can.
All right, thank you so much. And I do apologize because you called me earlier, I didn't respond. I was trying to unmute, but I don't know what's wrong with the phone. I do apologize once again. All right, so this is my question. I did file since December 2023. However, I didn't use premium. I actually used the normal process. And I think my date is going to be current by July 2025. So I think I was.
Let me pause. Let me pause. Let me respond there. You cannot. It does not follow. The fact that you have applied since December 2023 does not mean that your date will be current by July. You are praying. Let it be that you are praying that it's current. It's not certain that it will be current. And I'm saying this so that you give yourself rest of mind that you don't over expect.
Okay. Thank you. Maybe I didn't really check well because I was saying something like July when I checked the last time. Okay, so basically my question is just that I wanted to change it from the normal process to premium, but the legal practitioner was like I should leave it since I've wasted for as of then almost 7 months, but now it's more than a year now. So I just want to seek your own opinion that what's actually your take. Because I've waited for a year now, and it's still being reviewed since then till now.
Barrister Akonde, are you here? Is she here?
Are you in the US?
Yes.
You're in the US, right? To
Yes.
be honest, and it's NIW you did, right? Or EB1A?
Yes.
NIW.
Yeah.
Because your date is not yet current, to be honest, I'll kind of like align with what, the opinion that you had gotten that, what's the point of doing premium? Because even if you do premium, yes, they approve it, you get the peace of mind, yes. But you're still going to wait till your date is current before you can file the work permit. On the other hand, if it is, if you leave it as the regular, because you've done more than 1 year, to be honest, I expect that they should approve within the next 3 to 6 months. Well, they should give a decision within the next 3 to 6 months. Even before then, if your date has become current, you can go ahead and file the green card application and then the work permits, even if it has not yet been approved. If it's still pending, once your date has become current, you can do that. And because again, you can actually do premium processing and then you get an RFE. And to be honest, I don't think that now is actually even a good time to even trigger for premium, even if you wanted to. Let things settle in because they have an avalanche of applications right now. People trying to put in their applications, even with premium.
Thank you.
Before
saying that.
Trump comes in. So if
yes,
you go and put
thank
it
you for
in,
saying that.
They might just collect your money and send you an RFE because they don't have time to really review. So even if you do premium, wait and allow this thing to go down with it. Let Trump come in. Let's see the policies he's putting in place. Let all these knee-jerk reactions stop. And then you can then decide that, okay, now things are settled. You want to upgrade to premium. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for mentioning that. Okay. For those people, where am I echoing?
Okay, sorry, I've unmuted my mic. Can I ask my question?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. So I just want to ask, so for somebody, let's say somebody that is in tech, right? And they've just been normal, all their life they've been normal office worker, go to work, and all of that, right? No awards and nothing extraordinary. But then they've moved jobs, for like say 3 to 4, 5 years. So and because of this EB1, they want to, because of what they do, they can easily start up few companies, right? That some tech companies, let me call it like that. So in that case, can they use it for this EB1A visa or EB2 NIW. Now, they don't have to get it now. They are not in a hurry, but they're just trying to use this process to see that, they want to meet the criteria.
Honestly, just looking at that profile, I would say that EB1A is actually a better bet if the person can meet, all the requirements, at least 3 of the requirements for EB1. Because what I hear you say is that the person might be able to show leading or critical role, possibly maybe high salary, and then what else now? Well, maybe they can use like the all the tech contributions as original contributions or something, just find the 3. I would say the person should rather build towards EB1 because NIW right now, especially for tech, and sorry to damp anyone's bubbles, but they are not being nice with tech people right now with NIW. Most times, anything cyber, AI, all that, most times they just come back with it. It doesn't mean national importance. It doesn't really make so much logic because we see all what technology does, but some reason they seem to have something against tech for NIW particularly. So a tech person
And
that can
engineering.
meet NIW, yeah. So a tech person that can meet EB1A, that's a more straightforward pathway to go than NIW. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Next person, please. Sheon Akimbowale, is he here? I think so.
Okay, can I go?
Yeah, go ahead. Is he live? I think we lost him.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Joseph. Please,
Okay.
in regarding to the what you mentioned just now about NIW concerning engineering, please can you throw more light on that? Because I had a engineer in electrical engineering, and I'm thinking of working with my 5 years experience in electrical engineering. So with EB2 NIW. So can you throw my light on that? Because I heard you mention that they are not favoring the cyber tech and engineering. Please enlighten me more. Thank you.
Oh yeah, so well, it's not like she mentioned. It's not like we wanted to bust. They are not busting your bubble. It's not an impossible thing. Yeah, it's not impossible. It's not that automatically because you did tech or anything, they are not going to approve the case. No, we're just saying that we have noticed that in recent times they are not so favorable to them, and that's just what it is generally. So it's not there are no indices or metrics that they are using to actually prove or cut you down. Or for those fields, it's just if you look at it like introspectively, when you want to argue for national importance for those fields, that's where the problem comes in because it's more like.
Okay.
What is the larger gain? What is it's more like in the larger picture. We look at it like widely. What is actually the gain for America? We all know technology is good. We all know it's great. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you short. On that note, can you kind of tell us the field or area of expertise that we can, of course, all of us want something that we can key in and will have high possible chance of getting it. For EB2, can you tell us areas that you think can sell more in getting it?
My brother, you are an engineer. Simple. There's nothing you can do about it. Like I think I will still go back to what I've said. It is not impossible. It's not that engineers are not getting approved. They are. Many people are getting approved. It's not like they are not getting approved. Okay. But what we are saying is if perhaps you qualify for EB1A, it is better for you as that Nigerian engineer to apply for EB1A if you do qualify for it than to apply for EB2 because although it might seem as though EB2 is a lesser category, it's difficult. Like they're making it harder. I guess that's the point. your argument has to be very strong now compared to in the past when you can just argue for anything. So it's not a question of whether your field is something and then you can maybe argue for something differently. I don't know if I'm saying it rightly, but it's not you can't your skills are your skill set. Your talent is your talent. It is what it is. Oh, Barrister Akande wanted to say something. Or digital migration. Somebody was raising their hands.
Sorry, I'm available now. This is Shonjide Akinwale. I was.
Sorry, please pause. Sorry, please hold on. We were trying to help answer a question on engineering. Sorry to cut you short.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, but Barrister Fola, do you want to add to what I've said?
Yeah, so just for people in those fields, just make your profile very compelling. It's not to maybe to scare or anything. It's just for one to know what one is up against. It's just like in the past, it used to be like, oh, those in education field, they find it difficult for NIW, which it used to be. And then they found ways around it to say that, okay, instead of just saying you're going to be teaching, because teaching is seen as something that is local in scope, you now talk about curriculum development that can apply across the country. So it's just knowing it just to make one to be more proactive that, okay, if they're clamping down on this field or getting stricter in this way, what are the wiggle rooms I can get on it? So for instance, someone that maybe might just have a minimal, profile that is not slam dunk, you might want to get more things to make your profile really slam dunk, judge work of others, industry events, volunteer at events, organized events, all those kind of things beyond just your engineering or cyber, certificate, so that they can see that, oh, you've done things that impact the industry, not just your company. Because that's the issue. They say that many of those things that the applicants have done is impacting only their company, not the industry. So volunteering in your industry, volunteering in your field is one low-hanging fruit way of doing things that impact the wider industry than just your particular company.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry,
Yeah, please.
just to
Go
put some
ahead.
more clarity to that. Yeah. My name is Owechu Jigar with Digital Migration Services. So just to put a little explanation to the question raised. So regarding tech, if you look at it, almost everybody these days would definitely want to write a proposed endeavor on AI. AI is kind of like the most selling technology in recent times, but it's getting saturated and kind of like boring these days because all endeavors are kind of like tailored towards that. However, that does not stop the fact that you cannot get approved with a petition in that line. You just need to be creative with writing your proposed endeavor and be very, very specific and clear about what you're coming to do in the US. And make sure you tailor it to your background and your education and professional experience. So that is what you need to do. Not essentially that if you're in tech, you can't get approved. No. The truth is that USCIS is receiving an overwhelming number of applications, and most of these applications are usually not well written. And in such context, they issue a request for evidence and all that. So being in the electrical engineering field or whatever field, you still stand a very good chance of getting accepted in any of the categories. As far as you do a proper application that meets the USCIS requirements of the 3 prongs of DANASA. That is one. And number 2, that you carefully write and creatively write down your proposed endeavor, to the USCIS officer, and put the rest into the God factor plays a huge role in the approval rate these days, So, and also, if you meet the requirements for EB1, yes, sure, you can go to do that, and also bear in mind as well that for the EB1 requirements, just meeting maybe 3 or even 8 or even the 10 does not automatically grant you acceptance to your petition. There's also what we call the final merit determination. So EB1 is more or less evidence-based. You need to show it's set up in such a way that you need to show that you have risen to the very, very top of your field and all that. So, and it also depends on the discretion of the USCIS adjudicator. You may get some people that really understand it and are ready to put down the full implementation of that, while others, there are so many other factors that goes in there at the USCIS. However, if you are submitting an application, make sure it is done very well and you're well prepared for it, because these days they are also making sure that every application meets high quality standard before it gets acceptance. That is just...
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we have to keep it short because there's a lot of people here. So thank you for that. Sean, you can go ahead now. Thank you.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Sean. So let me just talk briefly about my background, then I'll ask my question so you can know where I'm coming from. Okay, so you can know how best to answer me. So I did my bachelor degree in Nigeria in economics. So post NYSC, I have 5 years post NYSC experience. I work as a financial data analyst in Nigeria. Then I had a publication. So my final project was published by one of the best academic published firm, Exlivia. So then I presented it at World Energy Economics Conference in Nigeria too in 2018 then. So but now I'm in the US. I'm doing my master's in economics and my MBA. But the truth is I don't really know much about this EB1 or EB2. A friend just sent the link to me yesterday. You know, I just got in August. I'll just say, let me see, beat my GP first, then I'll know what to do. So then I saw this link she sent to me. So I've been here listening. So I want to know, based on my background, is it EB1 or EB2 I should apply for, which I will still later go and check them details about them later. I just want to ask for this since I have the opportunity to do so now. And when is the best time for me to start applying for it? So that is my question. Thank you.
Okay, so here we are on the topic of EB1A. Ambassador Fola or Digital, do you want to share on EB1A? I think a lot of people are currently asking anybody because like EB2 NIW has a long wait time. There is also the so many uncertainties that flood it right now. So we'll talk about EB1A. But please, before you take on the stage, I want to say that for some of us, we currently don't even qualify for any anyway. You don't qualify for EB1A right now, and you also don't qualify for EB2 NIW. So before we delve into the topic of EB1A is the topmost one. Okay. If as of today you don't qualify for either EB1 or EB2 NIW, after we've shared and you've read and you see that you don't, if you actually take year 2025 and you take your time to actually build a profile for yourself, like you read the requirements, maybe you need to do research, you kind of gather the energy and you write papers, or you collaborate with others in our community. We support collaboration because if you write a paper, if it's a peer review paper, it's one person is not an island of knowledge, so you can gather resources from others, learn from them, make good connections, collaborations, and we can help you. You can join conferences, attend conferences. We don't have to be in America, you can be in Nigeria. We have conferences everywhere. You can participate in hackathons. You can organize events like if you are into maybe entrepreneurship or something. You can organize events. You can do so many things in this 1 year and build a good profile for yourself. Some people may even qualify for EB2, but they may not qualify for EB1. But if they give yourself time, maybe 1 year, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, you may qualify for it. Let me tell you, this thing has been in existence since 1991. It did not just happen. Many people have been doing this, and this is not going away anytime soon. So please, those are scared of Trump maybe coming in and facing this out. No, that's not going to happen. It's not something that one president can just come and just cut out. No. It's something that it will take a lot for this to go away, because this is a legal, in fact, I think it is the most legit pathway to bring people that have sense, people that have great value to America. That's the best way. because this is a proven pathway to always make sure that whoever is getting the green card, before they give it to you, they know that you are somebody that is of great value, that's somebody that will bless the country in a measurable way. So they are not facing this thing out anytime soon. Anytime soon. It means, therefore, that you may not qualify now. I have told you, please, number one, don't rush this process. Calm down. You may not qualify now, and that's what Barrister Fola was saying. Some of you, as of today now, you are running. You are running to go and print your petition, to go and submit your petition. You know that your petition is not ready. Oh, you know it's not ready. You know that you have written nonsense in that paper. You are running to go and submit it. Calm down and write what is good, because the first week of January, especially in January, you will see plenty RFEs, because, and those that do premium processing, because they know it that you were rushing, you were trying to beat Trump to power. Don't beat Trump to power. Leave the man alone. The man is not against EB2 NIW or EB1. As a matter of fact, he supports EB1, EB2 NIW because it is a legal pathway. It is an assurance that people that they give the green card to are people that make sense. And by the way, his wife actually did EB1 by, yeah, she got a green card through that pathway. So many of these tech professionals, so many of these millionaires, you know, the people in the entrepreneurship space, they all got their visa, their green card through this pathway. So it's a legal process. It's a proven pathway that you don't have to be worried about. Stop trying to chase Trump to power. Stop trying to beat him to the office. Leave him alone. Leave the man alone. The man doesn't have any problem with you. He wants you to come here if you are a person of value. He only has problem with people who are going to be a liability on America and take taxpayers' money. But if you come in with your EB1, EB2, this thing, you are coming in to come and be of great value to the country. So don't be scared. Just calm down. Write good petition. Build a profile if you have to. It might take you 6 months. It might take you 1 year. Some of you might need to go back and do masters. Some of you might need to go and do PhD. Some of you might need to go back and go and take one certification. Do your CISA, do your project manager, do your SIM, PPP, QQQ, RSP, PP. Do all that you need to do and submit a good petition. Don't rush. Calm down. So I think Barrister Fola or Digital, do you want to talk on EB1A? We want to talk on EB1A for some few minutes, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the contribution.
So many people are talking.
Yeah, this is Sheung. I said thank you so much for the advice. Although for the conferences, you made mention of conference, because when I was in Nigeria, I do organize conference. You know, I'm also a co-founder of a fashion brand in Nigeria. I'm still working. So our goal is to see how we can do local made wares for people across Africa. But we started in Nigeria, so we are sewing for Nigerians, for Ghanaians. So we are still looking at.
So in that instance, you need to be able to prove to them that what you are doing is going to be connected to a value in America. If you can connect it to this country, they are good to go.
Okay. Then for conference, I want to know, is it conference that is related to my field? Because in Nigeria,
thank you. Good question. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
in Nigeria,
if, for instance, I was trying to answer your question. If, for instance, you're talking about conference and say your proposed endeavor, maybe you're proposing to solve the you found a cure to cancer. However, all your conferences were church conferences that does not bear any bearing to cancer. It does not.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, but I want us to talk on EB1 very importantly, because some people actually qualify for EB1, and EB1 is still current, and they don't know that they qualify. So, let me be sure if Pastor Fola and Digital is still here.
Yeah, I'm here. So for EB1, something that I was gonna say, yeah, EB1 is current. So the things that EB1 looks at, it looks at membership in professional associations, level membership. Now I see that sometimes people, put like most time they look at like fellow level membership. It's not just that you're a member of somewhere. Of course, there are places like Institute of Directors in Nigeria that we know that even getting admitted, even as an associate or a member, is a big deal. But USCIS does not know this. But in such an instance, if that's what one has, you can articulate it clearly with the bylaws, showing that, oh, first of all, before you can even enter IOD, you must even be a director in the first place, which means that you're at the top level at your field. So there are exceptions like that. But generally, for most of the membership, you need to have like fellow level membership. Another thing that you can do is, you have authorship of articles. So your journal articles, even like your thesis, all those can go for that criteria. Then you also have original publications of significance to the field. Your authorship looks similar to that, but it is different, because in these original publications of significance, not only are they looking at what you have authored, they are also looking at how important it is to the field. And the one of the clearest way they used to say that is if that your work has been cited by people, independent citations, not self-citation, or your work has been used, or there have been contracts, or there have been patents about your work. I mean, those ones are not so common for people to get, but like that citation, if you can have that, you can also have some of your citers or other people, if you can't get your citers, write letters, detailed letters, showing how they found your work useful to their own research. So that can work for that. Then other things that they have is, they have publications in professional medium about you. Now for that, a lot of people have been using newspaper media. But one thing I'll say about newspaper media is that it is beginning to cast. So to use that word. So as much as possible, if you can show your criteria without using newspaper media as one of the criteria, please do. You can use any newspaper media you have in your final merit. The way this thing works is that you need to watch the trends. When EB1 was not so, common and all that, yes, newspaper media was a big deal. They were really, really just approving it, But now, because they're seeing that a lot of Nigerians are using the same publishers, the same newspapers, the same author of the article, the same everything, of course, to anybody's mind, it's beginning to make them doubt that, okay, is this thing paid for? So we want to be mindful about, about that. Another thing that we can show is critical role or critical or leadership role. So it's related but different in the sense that you can be serving a critical role, but it is not a leading role. So for instance, for some of us, we are connected to PIs, in our research. Those of us in the science field, right? Our PIs, our advisor has a very huge grant of $1 million, something. We are not the PI, but we are helping him. We are the one that is doing all the groundwork on the thing, reaching out to people and all that. If that PI writes a detailed letter showing the critical role that we played in it, or maybe we even now have a dedicated email or a dedicated portal where our name appears as, an associate or something, we can use that to show that we are serving a critical role for that grant, right? And use that to show a criteria. Another thing that we can show awards, national awards. Now, again, on these, a lot of people use, like their PhD awards, scholarship award, travel awards. For EB1, to be honest, these things don't really work. For NIW, yes, you can use that. For EB1, it really doesn't work. It's in very, 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 very few instances that USCIS are accepted, because they might look at it that you have what you're giving is as by virtue of being a student. And for some reason, USCIS reviewers have this kind of biased mindset that if you're a student, then you cannot be at the top of your field. Because they are still studying, you are progressing towards the top of your field, you're not there. So anything that is showing that, you have a PhD, scholarship award, no matter how much it is, I have full tuition, waiver, they typically don't accept it. So the way this thing works, right, in claiming your criteria for EB1, I see that sometimes people, are like fixated on, I must get like 8 or 9 out of the criteria. You don't need that, to be honest. Like if you have 3 criteria that are very strong or 4 criteria that are very strong, it's better you focus on arguing those as standalone criteria than arguing some of all these peripheral ones that are really not strong. Because just like the concept of, GPA for, those of us that schooled in Nigeria, and even those schooling here, but let's even use Nigerian context. If you do like 4 courses, like 5 courses, and then you get a combination of A and C, it's going to drag your GP down. If you do only 3 courses and get A in everything, your GP is really high. So that's the whole concept. It's better to stick with a few criteria and argue it solidly, that that you meet with your full chest. These other ones that are not so strong, you can use it to argue your final merit determination. We're not saying throw it away outright, but you don't need to put them as standalone criteria, because the thing is that when you put them as a standalone criteria, USCIS is looking at it like that criteria. And so if you don't meet that criteria, it's already making them doubt whether you are actually a person of extraordinary ability as you claim. So that's what I would say on that, just general tips. And then, so again, now, because EB1 is current, some sort of like strategy that some can use, right, is you want to get a work permit, because at the end of the day, we want to stay here and work and make money. That's really the ultimate goal of most people here. We're not even looking at, say, we want to travel, and all that, because when they say when your I-485 is in, you can't really travel outside US. So sometimes you can just use, because the EB1 date is current, that your profile is not like slammed down for EB1, but at least you can still try to show like 3 criteria that is not frivolous. You can put it in together with your I-485 and the work permit application and get the work permit. That you are likely to get an RFE and maybe a denial, but at least you get that work permit. And please, when you know that your profile is not very strong, there's really no need going for premium processing. You're just going to get a fast RFE. And then if you're trying to, use the strategy to get a work permit, there's really no point doing a premium processing, because if they give you an RFE, it means that you're going to get a decision in a very, very short time, which might not be favorable. And even that work permit that, you have tried to use that strategy to get will not work, right? But let's say, you put it as premium regular processing, and they use like 1 year to decide on it. In that time, they would have processed your work permit. They would have given you the work permit, which right now is valid for 5 years. You can even now put in an NIW that your profile is more suited for. And then in that 1 year or 1.5 years that takes them to decide the EB1, the NIW date might become correct. You now move your green card application to the NIW, and then, the work permit. But anyway, those are just some legal strategies. So that's what I would say on EB1. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for shedding light on the EB1A. For those that can see my screen, I'm sharing my screen now, and you can see EB1A. Thank you for sharing. I think at the end of the day, for EB1A, it's a EB1, for those of us that are just joining, EB1, EB2, it means employment-based visa, national interest waiver. Now you can apply for EB1, which is like EB first preference, then employment-based first preference. EB2 means employment-based second preference. RFE means request for more evidence. So if you apply for this thing, say for instance, I apply, you submit your application today. If they look through your petition and they see that you are not convincing enough, or maybe you lack some evidences, they might request for more evidence. So they will send you a letter requesting for more evidence. Another thing I want to say is that this is a paper-based application. It's not an online application. You will write everything and print it out, send it via postal mail to them. So if you live in Ghana or you live in maybe London, you will send it via maybe like DHL or UPS to America, to the address that is designated for this. Now, let me also share. If you are applying for this thing, whatever part of the world you're applying from, you must come to this direct filing address for the form I-140. And I'm saying this because I need to point this out for those of us that are applying and submitting the application this week. So if you are applying for the EB2 or EB1, you're applying only for the I-140, you would look through this drop down and find, for instance, if you live in Florida, this is Florida, you will send your petition to the Dallas office, the Dallas USCIS Dallas office, Dallas logbox. That's where you send your petition to. If you live in Florida and you go and send your petition to Chicago, you waste your time, because it's either they will return the document back to you, or sometimes some of them are nice. They might help you to forward it to the right address. But some USCIS officers, they are not that nice. They will send the document back to you. And for those of us that have applied for this thing, we know it's expensive, because sometimes the shipping might cost you maybe $200, for instance, and then that $200 is just wasted. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you are sending it to the correct address. So find your state here and send it to the address. Now, for those of us that are applying from outside America, you're applying from Nigeria, you're applying from London, you're applying from Australia, you're applying from Canada. In your mind, decide on a state that you like to work in America. So for instance, maybe you like to work in Texas. You look through this address and find Texas. So this is Texas here. This is Texas. So you send it to the Texas address. Usually, I always advise, just send it to either Texas or Nebraska if you are doing premium processing. If you are not doing premium processing and you are doing normal processing, then you might as well follow this option. Usually, and by the way, some people already have job offer in the US anyway. So that's an option. So you find a state and send it to them. Some US officers, they might send it back to you. And trust me, it's a lot of money. I know if they send your document back to you, you know what it means for them to return it back to you. It's a lot of money. If you are for those that are applying for EB1A, when we say EB1A is current, what we mean is that you can apply for your I-1 for this petition. You can apply for this waiver and also apply for a green card at the same time, because they have visa date, they have green cards available for that category. So if you're applying for EB1A as of today, EB1A is current. So you can file your form I-140. I-140 is the EB2 NIW or EB1A application, is the same. Everybody will file I-140 if you're applying for an employment-based visa. The form I-485 is the form the name of the form for those who are applying for adjustment of status. That's for those inside America. If you are outside America, you will go through what they call consular processing. You know, as somebody who is not inside America, you have to go to a US embassy and table your case. Although you have been approved, you might have been approved for the waiver, you still have to go and appear in a US embassy before they can give you their green card. So in doing this, you will go and appear in a US embassy. And for the form I-140, if you apply for both together, you will send it to this address. And let me say that a lot of us kind of miss this up as well. If you see, they said for USPS, US Postal Service, you send it to this upper part. Then if you are going through FedEx, UPS, or DHL, you send it to this lower address. Some people, they think UPS and USPS is the same. It's not the same. And I'm saying this because a lot of people DM me and I get their responses and I'm like, oh, sorry, you didn't know, it's okay, but you sent it to the wrong address. UPS is a private mailing establishment. USPS is the United States Postal Service. If you are applying from outside America, however, most of the time, if you can afford it, just use DHL. Don't use Nigeria Postal Service. But if you trust them, go ahead. If you are applying for premium processing, by the way, let me explain. I think I'll get to the money part, but I don't want, when we clock 2 hours, I want to go into explanation of the costs, the money cost for this thing. For those that are applying for this application for the employment-based visa and they want to go through premium processing. So let me explain what premium processing is. Now, yes, like you know, America is a capitalist country. It's all about the money. So if you have money, your money also can move things for you. It can make your life easier. and make you move faster. It is what it is. Now, if you are applying for this green card pathway, and you can afford to pay for premium processing. Premium processing means that you can pay an additional $2,805. Hey, a lot of money. $2,805. If you can add that extra to your application, they will make a decision on your case within 45 days. But like Barrister Fola has advised, it may be bad market for you right now to do premium processing, because they have a lot of people that will submit the application at this time. They may not take the time to attend to your case. They might be a little bit biased, and they cannot keep they must make a decision within 45 days. That is for EB2 NIW. If that is the case, you are going to technically maybe get an RFE. RFE means request for more evidence. And trust me, if you have collected an RFE before, it's a lot of work. And you don't want to be in that spot. So, but if you have written a wonderful petition, and like we said, luck is a very important factor in this application. If God is with you, there's nothing God cannot do. So if God is with you and you apply and you put it in, your 2,805 would make you know their decision faster. For those applying for EB1A, you get a decision within 15 days. But as of today, that 15 days is a shake, because we have seen people that got their decision within on the 19th or on the 20th day. Normally, they are supposed to refund your money if they go over the allotted time, but sometimes they don't if they decide within maybe 19 or 20 days. And by the way, you paying that extra $2,805 does not impact their decision. If they want to deny your petition, they will still deny it. It does not change anything. It does not move them in any way. The only thing that it does is that it hastens the process of you knowing their decision. Finally, if you don't pay the 2,805, what is your fate? What is your fate? Well, they will eventually let you know their decision, but it may take 6 months. It could even be longer. I've seen somebody that it took their person, maybe I think it was about 18 months before they decided on their case. So if you are like the man that asked if he graduated from school and he already completed his OPT and he does not know, he does not know maybe what to do, like moving forward. Sometimes, many people used to do EB1A. They got submit the EB1A, knowing fully well that they are not qualified or anything. They just submit it just to, get work authorization, because they will give you 5 years work authorization, no restrictions on it. So, and then another thing is that the green card that you get at the end of this is a 10-year green card with no restrictions. And then after 5 years, you apply for your citizenship. Well, maybe by the 4th year, you should have submitted your application for citizenship. All right. So I think I'm talking too much. Let me go back to questions and answer. But I want to talk about the cost for this, because it also costs quite a lot of money to apply for this. So people already raised up their hand, already unmuted, so you can ask a question now.
Hi, SALTLADY. Compliment everyone. Thank you so much for using your voice to help us, and we really appreciate. I personally appreciate your work and everything. So I would like to ask something. I submitted my EB2 in February last year. Actually, I didn't do premium, so it's getting to 11 months now. Nebraska, precisely, and we know how Nebraska can be. So I really want to ask if it's advisable for me to go for EB1 while the EB2 is still pending, or I should just wait and see what is happening. 2, what can you say about the change of status for EB1 right now? I mean, for EB2 right now, like, do you think it's going to be fast or what? Because my priority date is February, and currently they're in August. So how would you advise, what would be your advice for that? And the last question is this: if I'm to do EB1, I heard you saying something about work authorization. Is it that immediately I submit, they will give me work authorization, or I don't really understand it? Or is it available for me to do premium, or I should just wait? How long will it be if I'm to wait on the line for EB1 without submitting premium too? Thank you very much.
So the thing is that today is first day of the year. I've not eaten now, so it's too much question now. I cannot remember all of it. But I'll try. Sorry, don't mind me. I'm a funny person. All right. So in answer to your question, first things first, your priority date is February. You are waiting on the waiting list. You will wait. There's nothing you can do now. There's nothing. Just pray that it's favorable, because you might wait all this week and it might not come. Can you mute me? Because I'm echoing. Okay. So it's sorry. No, when you talk too much and you lose your train of thought. I lost my train of thought. Okay, I'm back now. Okay. In answer to your question, you have to just wait for your date to be current before you can proceed. On the question of should you go for EB1, my sister, it's your choice. So it's all about the money. If you can afford it, yeah, why not go for it? Then about the work authorization. So that's what Barrister Fola was trying to explain to you guys. It's a trick. It's a tricky situation. Let me use a practical example. David works with Nvidia or say Amazon, makes 175,000 a year, and he was on his OPT. So now he did his 2-term OPT extension, and the 3 years is gone now. So he applied for EB1A, but his EB1A date is not current. His EB1A date is not current. However, he does not want to lose that opportunity, because of course, if he finishes his OPT and he does not have any way to extend his status and the company is not willing to file for him, then he loses the opportunity. So if he has the earning power, well, it will be better for him to apply for EB1A, even though he knows that maybe he might not get approved for it. He might just use it as a placeholder, apply for EB1A and file concurrently. I mean, he will apply for the waiver for the I-140 and I-485 at the same time, submit the application. Oh, by the way, please, remember, there's a new rule. You cannot apply for your I-485 without your medical record. In the past, somebody's baby is making the sound. Hi, baby. But please mute yourself. Thank you. Now, if you apply for the waiver, for the EB2 NIW, for the EB1A with your I-485, and I-485 means adjustment of status form, so it's not many gibberish. Yeah, it's just the adjustment of status form. That's what it means. If you apply for it and you have not done your medical examination, they will return your document back to you. So please make sure that you go for your medical get your medical record and add it to your application. For those of us that are outside America, in Nigeria, in Ghana, and everywhere, please also make sure that you get a USCIS surgeon to, put your stuff in before you submit to the USCIS, because oh, by the way, that does not apply to you because you have to go through consular processing anyway. But then, and for those of us who are inside there, please make sure that you get your medical record and add it to your application. So you can use it. So back to the story of David, who makes a lot of money and does not want to lose his job, but then his OPT is ending and he needs to remain, continue to work. He might just apply for EB1A, and if you apply for both the I-140 and the I-485 at the same time, they would process your work authorization. They will invite you to go for biometrics. They send you your work authorization. It's a 5-year work authorization. You can continue to work at Amazon or Nvidia pending the time that his date becomes current for EB2 NIW. But you should not do premium processing, because if you do premium processing, everything will land. I'm speaking Yoruba. Everything will not work out. So
sorry, you meant for the EB1, right?
Hello. Hello.
Sorry.
Hello. I have a question, please. My question is this. I have a brother here. Is an
Sorry, before
entertainer.
your question, we were answering somebody's
Okay.
question. Can you allow us to finish
Okay.
that
Sorry.
question before you ask your own?
Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
Okay, ma, please continue your question.
Sorry, I meant like you meant the EB1. When if I want to get the work authorization, I shouldn't submit for premium for EB1, right?
Yes. If you know that maybe your possibility of being approved, if you are just using it as a placeholder to get a work authorization, possibly you should not do premium. Because if you do premium, they would adjudicate your case within 15 days, and that's like a lot of money you have wasted.
Thank you. And also, please, for the EB1, like how much do you think it takes if I don't apply for premium?
Okay,
and
good.
If
So
I'm
we
on
talk about
OPT,
money.
sorry, last question I will ask again. And if I'm on OPT, do you think I can still apply for the work authorization if my OPT is still valid?
If your OPT is still valid, should you apply for work authorization? Oh, it's two different applications, by the way. So if for instance, you are in your first year of OPT and you still have 2 years, the 2 years extension, and in the first month of your 2 years extension, for instance, is when you submit your application for adjustment of status, and then you get your work authorization card within that time. Yeah, you can do that. Let me, you know what? Let me allow Barrister Fola or Barrister Konde answer that question, because they will give you the USCIS terminology that best fits that.
That best fits what? Sorry, I didn't get that.
So our question is this. She's asking if she's on OPT, if she should apply for work authorization.
Okay, work permit. Yes, that's on the EB route. Yes, you can. There are two different routes. And to be honest, you should do that because that pays you better. Because, of course, even with the STEM OPT extension, some employers are not interested. So what gives you better chances at certain jobs is actually that green card pending work authorization, because it's for 5 years anyway. So it's going to exceed even any STEM OPT extension. So get both, please. But don't use it. What I would say is that when you have both, don't start using it. You can keep using your OPT till it expires, because if you start using the green card on, it's possible that it could interact with the service portal, and
While
service
waiting,
is
can I
going
go ahead
to
and ask my question?
terminate your F status. So you don't want them to terminate your F status till you conclude, your F schooling and all that. So yeah.
If your date is not current, but your OPT is going to expire or is still valid,
Basis that you're eligible
it's
to apply
another
for a work
person
permit.
It's another person.
I know. But if your date is not
I said,
current, and
can
you're
I go
not,
ahead and ask my question
no, someone
while we
asked
are
the
still waiting
question.
for the
Someone asked the
barrister?
question, they were responding. It looks like the person that's talking is not hearing us.
Okay, my question is this quick one.
I'm hearing.
I have an elder brother
There's
here.
someone that's talking.
He is an entertainer, a renowned entertainer, and he's on asylum already. Is it possible for him to apply for EB1 or EB2 visa?
Yes.
How do we package
actually,
that?
now
Should
on
I
that asylum,
refer him directly to you, or how can I get in touch
Yeah, you
with
can
you?
chat with us after the meeting, because I know it's a lot of conversation that goes into that. Asylum people can definitely get approved for this. Yes, they can get approved for it, but it's just that the process is different. They might need data representation and all that. Yeah.
Okay,
And they might not even figure it out.
This person is a very renowned actor. He has
It does not matter. It does not
on it.
matter.
Okay.
Even if you are God, yes, I is not send you.
I just want to chip in that.
Okay.
Hello.
And the person is also sorry to put the person is also already in states. So in the state already. So I will talk to you after the whole meeting.
No problem. No
Thank
problem. Barrister Konde, you were saying?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Good evening.
No, not you, sir. Can you please mute so that we can? Okay.
Hi, can you hear me
All right,
now?
please go ahead. Yeah.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I was saying. If they could also consider O1 for the artist I was talking about. yeah, O1 is not a green card, but it kind of gives you the benefits of living and working in the US. So I know a couple of artists that tried O1. So they could, in addition to their plans to do EB1, they could also consider O1 for the artist. The person who was asking about the artist of
Okay,
now.
okay. Thank you so much. And please, can I get a chat from you so that I can also talk about it later? Yeah.
No problem.
That's fine. Sorry for bringing us back. I was going to answer the question regarding the tech or cybersecurity one that was asked about an hour ago. I absolutely concur with what Barrister Fuller said. It's true, there are no tech guys or IT, whatever. They're not taking it easy with you guys now. But the thing is that there are tricks around it. I worked on a cybersecurity petition for someone recently. And one of the ways you get around that is if you're able to show that you are working on a project that could be adopted by different companies across the US. In that way, you're meeting the national interest requirements. But if you're trying to say, oh, you're just working with this company and you're only upping them to ensure they are trying to protect their cyberspace, trying to code for them alone, that does not mean NIW, that means EB2. That's it. That's why they've been trying to crack down on IT or tech guys going through the NIW. But if you can show that you're probably working with a IT or cybersecurity lab that does research and development of innovative IT products, even if you just even if your work product only serve people within one particular state. When I mean people, I mean corporations. So far, it is more than just your employer that benefits from what you do. You may be able to significantly prove that you're doing something that is national interest. For example, if you're working on quantum computing, which is kind of like the big deal thing now, like it's like the unicorn of AI or whatever. If you are able to substantially show that you're working on quantum computing that covers a particular region or even the whole US or North America, because quantum computing is not just restricted to just one company. It gets it's more like computers communicating with themselves from different aspects or from different zones. So that in a way shows national interest. But if you're just sitting back and saying you're doing designing a website for one person, for one company, that does not meet NIW, but that would definitely meet the regular EB2 that you would have to use the labor certification process for. However, you cannot self-petition under that one. That was what I was going to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, please, I wanted to mention about the financial cost of this application. Because as beautiful as it sounds, it also costs a lot. First and foremost, the application, the USCIS charges $715 for this application. Whether you're applying from America or you're outside America, it is the same cost for everybody. Everybody will pay the same price for the I-140, the employment-based form. So currently they charge $715, $715 for it. If you pay 715.50 cents, they will return the document back to you. If you pay anything lesser than that, also they will return the document back to you. But it does not stop at that. There are also extra fees like asylum fee. Now, whether you are currently on asylum or you are not on asylum, you will still pay the asylum fee. The big question everybody have asked me a million times is that, Salt Lady, why should I pay asylum fee? My brother, my sister, when we get to meet USCIS, we will ask them why they are making everybody pay. There is no explanation for why you should pay the fees. No explanation. But it is a requirement. So please stop asking why you should pay or why you should tick yes to the question on the I-140 form. Just pay the money and give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. They require you to pay the money They did not create any explanation for it. They do not explain why we need to pay the money. All that they require you to do is to pay the money. So if you want their green card, you will pay the $300 extra. Now, it does not end at that, but that's the end anyway. So in total, the money that you are required to pay for the USCIS fees is $1,015, 1015. No more, no less. If you pay $1,016, they will return your document to you. If you pay $1,014 as well, they will return your document to you. It must be 1015. No more, no less. Now, what are the payment methods? You can pay through money order. You can also pay via check. If you are outside America, like you are in, South Africa or any of the other countries out there, Canada and the likes, you can pay via, you can use Western Union. I know some people use Western Union. If you're in a country that America recognizes their payment method, like London, like Europe, and Canada, you can also pay directly. If you have a bank, card, you can use it. They accept it as well. If it's a universal bank, like something that they accept, they do accept it. But if you're inside America, you can use money order. You can buy your money order from Walmart, from USPS, from Kroger. It depends where you buy your money. You like to buy your money order from. Just make sure that on the money order, you write the purpose of the fees. Most times, money orders don't exceed $1,000. So, for instance, if you buy from USPS money order is $1,000 limit. But I know I think Kroger is $500 or so. So, if you are buying from Kroger, make sure that you buy 2 for the I-140 form. That's, you fill one for $500, another one for $215, then another one for $300. Don't mix them together. Make sure that you write in the purpose what each money is for. Then that's for the I-140 forms. You can also, maybe you don't have cash, it is what it is. You can use credit card to also pay for this thing. You will only need to fill what they call Form G1450. In the Form G1450, you will fill, and all this information, I already put it in the free document that is available for you online on the page. So you can access it there. You can fill the Form G1450 and put in your credit card information, and then they would extract the money. Just make sure that you tell your credit card company whether you're using American Express. I don't think do they call it American Express? I don't know. But just tell them prior that you have authorized the payment, and then they can extract the money. Because if USCIS try to take out the money and your credit card company or your bank card, and you can use a debit card as well, and your bank says no, or they bounce the payment, they will send your document back to you. You have to refill it and send it back to them. You can also use a check. You can take a bank check and you can use it to pay. You can use a bank check. They accept bank check as well. But they don't accept cash. No, cash. No, they don't accept cash. So please take note of that. And that, I think that's all there is to the payment. The second part of this payment is what they call the premium processing. I've told you it's an optional fee. You don't have to pay it. All that you are required to pay is $2,805. No. All that you are required to pay is $1,015. The extra $2,805 is if you want them to respond to you faster. Like our sister that shared, now she said she applied since February last year. That's almost 11 months ago, and they have not responded to her. But here we are today. If she had paid for premium, maybe she would have known their decision. But it's her choice, right? It costs a lot of money, So if you cannot afford premium and you can only afford normal fees, please go for it. One other thing I want to also say is that after you have the first stage costs $1,015. The second stage costs, oh, by the way, let me share my screen. I need to show us this. So if you can see my screen, this is the I-140 form. This is what it looks like. And please also be careful that you submit the most recent one, because they always change this. They change the forms every 5 market days. So be careful so that you follow through. Because if you submit a form, for instance, now they may change the form tomorrow morning. If you don't know and you go and submit this old one, and don't be surprised that it expires 2027, and you would assume that it should not expire anytime soon. It might expire tomorrow. They might decide to change something on it, and they would, they just upload another one. So if you just be current, I think the point is be current and make sure that you are submitting the right form. I'm sharing this screen with you because of the page 1. Under other information, you will see that they put a question. Are you a non-profit organizer as tax exempt or a government research organization? Yes or no? The answer here is no. But under number 6, whether you are in America, whether you are in Nigeria, whether you are in Ghana, whatever you are, whether you have a company or you don't have a company, whatever it is, you must answer yes to this question. If you answer no, they will send your document back to you. And I know people that they have sent their document back to them. I'm sorry if you are here in this meeting 8 times. 8 times they sent the document back because he kept writing no. Please write yes. Like I said, for USCI, some things in their form, you don't understand it. Just give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Just fill the form the way they want it to be filled and give it to them that way. I don't know why they make it this way, because you are not employing anybody. Why they will require you to answer yes to it. But just answer yes to it and let it go. That's the way they want it to be done. I don't know. Maybe the lawyers can explain why they make us write yes to it, but I don't know. I think if you just don't do it that way, they will actually not approve they will not even attend to the case. They will keep returning the document back to you. So that's that about that. If you want to use credit card, this is the form that you fill. It's a G1450 form. So it's not compulsory that you have all the money in your pocket immediately when you want to submit. You can always just use the credit card form and you fill it that way. Now, how do you apply for this thing? There are 2 options. You can write the petition yourself. Like this is the main page. This is for EB1. This is the criteria. Please, if you don't have a job from a university or from a research lab, you don't qualify for the second one. If you don't have a job from a international organization, whatever, you also don't qualify for this category. So the one you qualify for, that you may qualify for, is the extraordinary ability one. No offer of employment is required. It's clear, they wrote it there. No offer of employment is required for the first one. So that's the one you can apply to. And the 3 criteria we were explaining before, you can find the criteria here. Find 3 out of these criteria that best fit you and go for it. Now, I was trying to explain to us about how you can apply for this thing. You can either apply for yourself, write the petition by yourself, and it's possible, it's doable, you can go for it. It's just that these days, what we are seeing on the market, and that's one of the things we are sharing about the media criteria. It's not that USCIS does not believe about media anymore. It's just that some people will not write. They will not write it very well. They will just write it anyhow. And then somebody will write it very well. So you can imagine if you are a USCIS officer and you read somebody's petition, the person explains in details why that media, why Punch newspaper or CNN is a very good media organization. And another person comes and just writes 2 lines on, I publish in CNN, CNN is a blah, 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 and that's it. And they present it as something not valuable. So sometimes that's actually what triggers some of them not accepting some criteria, because sometimes people don't present the case very well. So, or you can write it yourself if you can, and that is all well and good. If you cannot write it yourself, you can employ the services of a US immigration lawyer. Barrister Fola is a U.S. immigration lawyer. Barrister Konde is also a U.S. immigration lawyer. There are so many immigration lawyers. You have the popular ones also that you can look them up on Google and explore this opportunity for yourself. We also have people that are not lawyers, but they are expert consultants who have been doing this thing for quite a long time or quite a while, and they can help you also write the petition. I, for one, am an expert consultant myself. I help people to write the petition, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Very important to make that disclaimer, because in America, you know, everything must be followed to the letter. The rule of law must be obeyed. So if you want to work with a lawyer, you know, Barrister Fola is here, Barrister Konde is here. They are very good. They know what this thing entails, and they can hold your hand through the journey. That's if you can afford their services. And yes, why not? I think at the end of the day, I've never regretted maybe choosing America as my home. It's been a journey, and it's been good, or it's been good. I don't regret it. I like my country. I'm a Nigerian, and I always like Nigeria. Of course, this is what it is. But I just like the fact that in America I have opportunities, and I'm still a Nigerian anyway. So I will always have that place as my home. But just being here gives me the opportunity to, you know, do so much more, and maybe make more impact in the world, you know. And if Nigeria works for you, if your country, if you're Canadian, if it works for you, if you are from, you know, Pakistan, if you are from India, if you are from China, if it works for you, why not? Not everybody has to come to America. But if it is your dream, if it is your passion, if it's something that you really want to do, that you want to come to America, it's okay. You should explore this opportunity and come here. Get a good lawyer. Get somebody that can help you to write this thing. If you can write it yourself also, I have provided literally everything that you need to write this thing by yourself. You are in this community, so I'll be putting it on the group. I'll pin it to the group so you can access the document as you go along. But like I said, if you collect denial, for those that have collected denial before, you know what it feels like. It's painful. There's a lot of money that you would have spent, the time, the effort, the energy. It's a lot that you have put in. So if you know that you cannot do it, please, by all means, consult with the lawyer. I'll put the information also here as well. You can consult with them. I offer consultation services myself. You can book a consultation time with me. I'll break it down more to you. And let me say, not all of you are qualified to apply for this thing. I'm just going to be truthful. If you know that your profile is not good, don't waste money. Don't even bother. Take the time and build a profile, or build yourself, build your career, build your life more. I know there is a man that said it took him 3 years to build a profile for this thing. 3 years. You can imagine. It took him 3 years to build a profile. And today, you know, he has done it. You know, his family is here with him. He's living a better life compared to what he was. I know somebody that was a lecturer. I'm sorry to use this example, but he was a lecturer, and he always tells me that, I make, I think his salary then was about 110,000 naira or so. Well, I mean, of course, when they remove everything out of it. But then he was like, you know, it's so hard, it's so difficult, but he did this thing. I think he did it in 2022 or so. And now he's here, he has come into the country, and, you know, with his family and his children, and everything is fine for them. Last December, 2020, this last month, that is not last month, 2024, they bought a house, and, you know, he shared with me. I was so happy for him, because, you know, it's better, things are better. It's just, he's in a better place, you know. Now, America is not rosy, by the way. Let me say that up front. America is not all rosy. It's not like if you get this green card now, it's a ticket to automatic good life. No, you still have to find a job if you want to work. You still have to, maybe if you are an entrepreneur, you still have to maybe build your business. If you are somebody that is in the social enterprise space, you still have to make impact in the world. You still have to do all of that. But maybe being in America might be the solution that you're looking for and gives you that better leeway in life. Then why not take this opportunity and go for it? Now, some of us...
Question.
Please, before your question, because I know a lot of people will go now, it's a long time, so I want to make sure that I've touched on the important aspect of this meeting. We will be doing more of this meeting anyway, so we can answer more questions. And in the chat, we will be answering more of the questions as well. In 2025, give yourself the target or set a goal for yourself to apply for this thing. Even though you may not qualify now, if you begin to work towards it from today, even if it is journal papers you write, even if it's conferences that you plan to attend, even if it is volunteering at an hackathon or volunteering at any event that is in your field or anything like that, reviewing for papers, yes, review for papers. Accept to review, you not die. It will take time, I know, but it is worth it. Do some of these things. If you build that profile for yourself, by the end of the year, you would have gone further. You will not be in the spot where you are today. But for some of us that already have the profile, please apply for it. Start writing now. If you are a student that you will graduate by summer or you graduate by December, don't wait until May before you start writing this thing. Start doing it now. Do it now. Start writing it now. In fact, I make it a rule that before now we used to have this petition project where I say, on the day you are graduating for your master's or PhD, while everybody is doing celebration wearing their gown, taking all the pictures, your petition should be on your side. As you're collecting your certificate or your transcript, whatever with your graduation, you should be going to USPS or UPS to go and submit your petition. Straight to USCIS. Because your green card is more important than that OPT or H1B that you are looking to do. Because with your green card, you have no restriction. You can do anything you want to do. So please give yourself this opportunity. If you need help, reach out. I'll put a link here for help. If you want help, you can always reach out. This community is a resourceful community. Free resources are provided. But be careful when you are reaching out to people for paid services. Please, I beg you, be careful. I'm saying it again, be careful. Many people are out here to scam you, to cheat you, and to make you cry. And I know that because I've run the WhatsApp communities for over 4 years now. And I've been running the WhatsApp communities, and I know what it is like when people, they believe people and everything. Please be careful, reach out to me before, when I take my time. It may take a while before I respond to you, but I will eventually respond to you. I will. Just be careful. Don't fall into the wrong hand. I beg you. It will pain you more when you lose money that you don't have, when you fall into the hand of scammers. All right.
Hello. Sorry to cut you short. I just want you to note. Let me put it this way. I want to make people understand that the fees you talked about are just for USCIS. People should just bear in mind that they also have legal fees. And thirdly, depending on your profile, depending on the route you're going through. If you're going through the entrepreneurial route for NIW, it comes with additional costs. So just don't be surprised if you consult me and I tell you, aside legal fees and aside USCIS fees, you may have to pay certain fees. So I'm just trying to put it out there because some people may think you're just going to pay for all those ones, the fees you talked about.
Yes. So the USCIS fees are for the form fees are the form fees. Of course, if you are meeting with a lawyer, the lawyer charges their own fee. I also charge my own fees as well. Somebody is talking, please can you mute yourself? So if you are contacting an expert or a lawyer, definitely you should know that they charge their fees. And by the way, by all means, if it is worth doing, go for it. If you think that it is valuable enough for yourself, why not put in for it? Yeah. Please, somebody was about to ask a question. I know the meeting is taking too long, but I'm here anyway, so
please.
I'm still available to take your questions. So.
Yes, please. Just a few quick questions, and then thank you, SALTLADY, and then all the expert lawyers. A couple of when we're explaining about using scholarships to meet the criteria for prizes or awards. So I received the Commonwealth shared scholarship for my master's in the UK. conduct work based on the rigorous selection criteria used, because I was selected based on my work in Nigeria. And my second question, I received a prize which was awarded to my organization, where I am the founder of the organization. But the name of my organization was on the prize, but I was one that actually received the international prize. I was present during the presentation ceremony. And my last question, I received a grant to implement a national baseline study in Nigeria as a primary investigator. Where can we fit that?
No.
And the impact, though I'm currently a PhD student in the US, but most of my impacts have been in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not sure I followed the question, but can any of the lawyers or maybe digital, can you answer the question if they are still here?
I didn't get it. I didn't get the question.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to repeat just a quick recap.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. A quick recap. So I was saying that I am currently a PhD student in the US, and I received, of course, full funding. But I heard you explaining that that might not meet the requirement for award or prizes. And I just want to clarify, I also received the Commonwealth and scholarship in the UK for my master's, which of course I received as a result of my work as a founder of in Nigeria. And then my...
Okay, Barrister Fola or Barrister I don't know if you understand his question, because I'm not sure I understand his question.
Yeah, so okay, it's talking about award, like student type award. So I believe you're asking because of EB1A, because you can use those awards for NIW very well. They are really, really good. Now for EB1A, it is tricky because, I mean, there are several instances where they shut down one, even things that are, on the face of it look really great, like Commonwealth awards, scholarship awards and all that. They typically clamp down on it. So my recommendation usually is that if you have something else that is, like a Plan National Award, all those, or OFR, DCFR, for instance, you can use that. But if it's this one, I'd rather say don't base it as your criteria, as one of your criteria, because most times they strike it down. You can use it to argue your final merits to show how, much of an extraordinary professional you are, but hinge your criteria on other ones that are more easily approvable, like your authorship, your journal articles, your citation, your critical role. For instance, now that award, when you were doing your master's in UK, there could have been one research grant, that you were working on, where you were serving in a critical role in a lab. You can rather use that to then explain a critical role that you have served in for your EB1 criteria. And another thing too, a lot of times I see that people look so excited to be putting, I'm currently a PhD student in EB1A. It doesn't help you in any way, to be honest.
Disaster, very, very disastrous.
It doesn't help you in any way. If you're, say, for instance, a medical doctor who now happens to be doing PhD, or something, just put that you're, medical sciences and all that. Try to avoid putting any appellation to students. But that also even impact this award thing they're talking about, because when they're talking about that, you have this award as a student to pursue fully funded, people are so excited talking about it. Doesn't mean anything to the reviewer for EB1 purpose. It is great for NIW. For EB1, it doesn't help your case. It weakens it instead. So try to stay away from mentioning that you're a student, even if you're a PhD student. If you have, your master's already awarded, you can be talking about your master's degree. In fact, EB1 doesn't even really require certificate as well. So don't even put emphasis on it. Emphasize on the great things that you've done. don't put emphasis on your certificate, and definitely do not put emphasis on being a PhD student. It doesn't help in any way, to be honest, because they will just say that, well, you're progressing towards the top of your career, but you are not at the top because you're still in school.
I get it. Thank you so much. So I think I'm missing something. The difference between EB1A and NIW.
So EB1 is for someone that has arrived in their career, someone that is at the top of their career. EB2 NIW is for someone that is making progress towards the top. So EB2 NIW is about potential. You may not have gotten what they're looking for yet, but you are showing good potential, you know. Like when you review the application of a job applicant, you're saying that based on what this person has done in the past, he's going to be a good fit for this role. So you are making a projection. But for EB1A, they are not looking at any potential. They are looking at the actual. And that's why EB1A is looking at your sustained national acclaim. Sustained, meaning that there must have been a clear pattern of being at the top of your field.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Yeah. Hi, good evening.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather. However, I really want to appreciate everyone, you know, for this insight you're providing. May God bless you. However, I just want to ask, so presently I'm in the UK and I just finished my master's, and one of my dreams has been to move to the US. However, I have over 5 years of work experience, but like I don't really know how to go about it. It's been something that I really wanted to get more clarification on, so that you know I'm not in darkness, and I ask the right people to give me insight. So what's the pathway for me, really? That's my question.
In all fairness, and this also goes for many people here. Okay, Barrister Konde, I think you wanted to say something.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. That's what I was about to say. I'm
Okay.
like, I don't get the question exactly.
Again, I'm saying that what is the pathway to immigrate to the US for someone that is currently in the UK? You just finished your master's degree, and also you have over 5 years of work experience. And I've seen people say, oh, probably you can go to the US again to probably go study. I don't want to use the study route because, you know, it's out of it. So I'm saying, what other options can you provide?
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean it's out of it?
I cannot for now.
I'm just joking.
I don't want to read book again for now. So I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I understand.
So
what are your options? Okay, what are your options? All right. Well, the EB2 NIW might be one of your options. That is if you actually meet the criteria, and if you don't meet the criteria, you can work towards it. And sometimes, like we said, in all fairness, for the past few years, I'm like, everybody knows me, I'm a huge advocate of do it yourself, try to figure it out, you know, read the documents and try to do it. But in the last 1 year, I see a lot of people have made so many mistakes, so many errors that were avoidable, that if they had contracted a lawyer, even if they were going to write it themselves, if they had contracted a professional to even talk to them that, okay, this is what I want to do, this is my proposed endeavor, this thing does not fly. People know me. If you come to my DM, send me, oh, I want to do EB2 NIW, I'll tell you, send me your CV, let me see what you have. And then I look through and I'm like, you don't qualify. Don't waste the money. Just let it be. But, you know, it's always like, you know, like us, especially us Black people, when you present them now, okay, you charge for your service, they don't want to kind of like pay for it. So in your instance, I would advise you, if you can't afford to pay for a consultant to look through your documents or talk to a lawyer, let them actually analyze this thing for you before you even start, before you approach it. Know if it will fly or not. So you can do EB2 NIW. You meet the basic from the basic requirements for eligibility. You may meet it, but do you meet the factors that are considered to give you the green card? That's where the problem is. You understand, right?
Yeah.
So you may meet the basic requirements, but you may not meet the factors that are considered for the Danasa prongs. Oh, by the way, when we say Danasa, let me introduce Danasa to you, everybody. So interestingly, many years ago, this EB2 NIW used to be a very difficult thing to get, but one man named Danasa decided he applied, he didn't go through. So he decided to appeal the case, and eventually, he was able to convince USCI, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, and he was able to, win the case. And his argument is actually what everybody, like a lot of us now, we fall under the canopy, and we are beneficiaries of that. That's him standing up and saying he's actually correct, and all of that. So they made Barrister Konde was saying something. Okay.
I was
so girl, you were saying?
I said I was going to say that if she doesn't want to go to school, she could consider H1B. If you can reach out, I don't know what you work. I don't know what your profile is, so we can just you recommend steps we go through. Or if you're able to reach out to US employers, they may be able to file for H1B for you. I worked on H1 before I finally got my EB2 blah blah blah. But we could try O1. If you are really boxed up, like you have a lot of money, you could do EB5 investment. Go to look for an economically depressed area, like some form of investment that is going to generate more revenue for the US. And that is quite even faster. So several means you could try L1 for investors, and L1, I don't know, L1 depends on your profile. If you're an executive or a manager that has been transferred from one part of the board to another to their US office. But if you're not, then you probably wouldn't qualify for L1. There are several, there's EB3. EB3 takes a long time though. It takes more time. And also I just want to tell everybody out there that being scared because of Trump. Let me put it to you this way. The people that during Trump's time, NIW, employment base was quite fast. Let me just put it that way. Everything started slowing down during Biden. That is mostly because of the pandemic. So don't be because Trump is coming in. If you're going through the legal route of employment, just be at rest. As a matter of fact, if you're aware of what's going on Twitter right now regarding Elon Musk pushing for more H1B, that is one of those influences that the Trump administration can bring into the immigration system to make things more accessible for foreign employers. So my own advice is just that if you have a strong profile, that is looking out to making your profile strong. That is the most important thing. You should be looking into, not being scared that Trump is coming in or not.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. I'm very glad. However, I just want to plead, we won't mind if you can share the contact of the lawyers with us so that if you start saving towards it, making our statements, our documents stronger, or whatever, our profile stronger, it will be very helpful. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm grateful.
Yeah, thank you so much. Please, I have a question. I don't know if I can go ahead to speak.
Please, I want to ask a question, please.
Okay.
I also have a question to ask, please.
I'm sorry, before all the questions are asked, hello. Yeah, so before we ask all the questions, I know this is 3 hours into the meeting. So I know it's the first day of the year and people should be celebrating and not talking about immigration right now. So we will be ending this call soon. And then if you have more questions, we can put it in the chat. I will only take maybe one more question so before we go today. Before we round up, I want to do a recap before we go. Please, this seminar or meeting was supposed to be a webinar, but we are here on Telegram because I wanted everybody to participate. I want to make sure that if you are taking the time to join, you are not, just left off of the conversation, which would have been what would happen if we were on Zoom and the likes. So this meeting is recorded and it will be put on the YouTube channel. We have the YouTube channel for the group, so I'll put it there. So you can go back and listen if you can and get more information from this. We have a WhatsApp group that is dedicated for this, and this Telegram group has been here since forever anyway, but I'm not really a Telegram person, so please hold on the questions. Sorry, that distracted me. So please, if you are interested in applying for this thing, like I said now, you can, there are so many pathways to get into America. I just want to clarify on that. You can come in through student visa. It's still a path. I came in through a student visa, and now I'm no longer a student. Yes. So, and I don't want to be a student anymore. But then, if that is what works for you, and it's your first step to get into here, go for it. H1B is also a very good pathway that you can come through, into the US. L1 is, you create a business in your country. Maybe for instance, in Nigeria, you have a pure water factory. Very bad example, sorry. But like you have a tech company, I'm a funny person. You have a tech company, and then you create a branch of the tech company in America, so you can actually work in your tech company in America, and then they will apply for the L1. It's a process, but we offer that service as well. O1 visa is like the junior brother to EB1A. So if you can also do the O1 visa, but with the O1 visa, you have to have a company in America that is willing to file for you, Omogbola, you'll be all right. Anyway, as I was saying, so you can go through O1, you can go through H1B. Of course, H1B, there is currently now what is boiling is H1B. That's what is boiling in America. So with the whole conversation, on Elon Musk and the like, so it's still a pathway. If you are considering doing H1B, get professional help. That's what we advise, that professional help. In all fairness, I've done this freebie thing. I would advise people, and I still do it, and I will continue to do it. But I realize that people are making a lot of mistakes, very, very avoidable mistakes, costly mistakes that is costing them money. So instead of me saying, "Oh, well, everybody will figure it out at the end of the day," I'm saying, get help. Reach out to us. Let us advise you. Let us help you. You may not be able to pay for the full petition, but you can pay for consultation. You can pay for consultation, and with the consultation, it gives you the opportunity to know even if you should apply or you should not even apply at all. Or you may apply in the future, but you can start preparing now. You can position yourself better now. So this conversation will continue. It does not end here. We cannot answer everybody's questions here, but this meeting is just to gear you up, to set you on the path. The journey is far. Please, this is not a fast way to getting your green card. No, it's not. You calm down. Some of us, we don't start this journey 8 years ago before we eventually got to where we were. So it's a journey. It's not a sprint. So calm down. Don't rush. Trump is not out here to kill you. He's not out here to send you back to your country. No. And he's not saying that you should not come from your country to America. He just wants you to be a person of value to America. So on that note, I'll take one more question. We'll end this meeting today. I will continue to do this. Like occasionally, I'll just pop up here and I'll tell you guys about the meeting. Maybe I'll notify us 2 hours before. We can continue to have conversations about this and get prepared for it. It will take time. Some of you might not ever apply for EB1A or EB2 NIW. Some of you might eventually get your green card through another pathway. But you having the knowledge of this might actually save a friend, a brother who is in a marriage that they don't want to be in. And, that you can save somebody's life with this information. So, please go ahead and ask the question.
Yeah, thank you so much for the information and your time, your sacrifice. So I have a friend that is about to submit his application and is filing under EB2 NIW, and I self-petitioning as well. So I want to ask if it's mandatory for him to add ETA 9089, the 3 ETA forms. Is it mandatory?
Yes, it's compulsory.
Okay.
It's compulsory. You must have the 3 9089 forms, and 2 of them look like they are not filled. But if you follow my example, I have samples of the forms that I have filled that you can just copy. And some of us, if you know that you still cannot figure it out, my brother, my sister, before you go and fill what you're not supposed to fill in the form, get professional help. I know it sounds like, oh, we are pitching money and then you should pay money. Me, before, I used to say, figure it out on your own, until people started making disastrous mistake, like life-threatening mistakes. Some people right now, they had a good case before, but because they were trying to figure it out on their own, they have put themselves in serious trouble right now with USCIS. So I've decided that if you can figure it out on your own, by all means continue. But if you cannot figure it out on your own, I'm not going to keep silent, because like they say, you cannot say because you don't want I'm sorry, I'm a Yoruba person, so I'm trying to convert the proverb into English. It's not working. Oh God, it's not working. But what I'm trying to say is that you cannot say because you don't want people to fall down, you don't tell them that there is a ditch, there's a gutter. It's not fall into the ditch. You have to, even though yes, you don't want to overdo it, but you still have to tell them that they will fall into into a problem. So I'm taking my time to say, in this 2025, I'm going to encourage you, if you want to go ahead and do it yourself, do it. But unavoidable errors you should do away with avoidable errors, because if you commit error in this thing, we are talking about immigration, your record will always be with USCIS. You cannot afford to be making costly mistakes with your immigration documents. Get a lawyer, get a consultant, a registered consultant. We have lawyers here. We know our job. We are professionals at this thing. Get people to help you. Do not do nonsense in your application, because if you do nonsense, I'm telling you, there are people that they should have maybe collected their green card by now, but because they made a costly mistake, and I'll share more about the costly mistakes that you make in some of our other sessions, so that we can, we can prevent them from happening. So please work on it. And please, for everybody that is submitting their petition this week and next week, good luck to you. I wish you success. I pray that, the grace of God will go with you and your petition as you submit it to USCIS. But if you know that you have written nonsense in that document, do not submit it. Calm down. Give it to your friend to read with you. Give it to your spouse. Give it to your classmates. Send it to that professor that respect, that knows what they are doing. Send it for a review. We provide a review service as well. Let us review it for you. USCIS have changed. Things have changed. Many people have written rubbish to them, so they are also tired of reading nonsense. So make sure that you don't stay on the wrong end of the tracks. Yes. So thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you for joining this meeting today. We'll continue the conversation in the chat, but it's first day of the year. It's 3 p.m. I will not say where I am. It's 3 p.m. where I am, CST. I want to go and eat my own New Year's chicken. Thank you so much, and enjoy the new year. I pray that the new year is a good one for everybody here, and good luck to everybody. And thank you so much for the lawyers for joining us today as well. I appreciate you guys. Digital Migration, thank you so much for joining. We have to go now.
Welcome. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, SALTLADY.
Bye-bye.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.